Good morning. Somebody's paying attention.
Yeah, one person.
Yeah.
How is everyone? Good. All right, before we bring this meeting to order, I'm going to ask Larry Baker to come up and pray for us.
Now I know Phil looks, or I look young enough to be Phil's daddy, son, but in essence he's my cousin, even though he is young enough to be my son.
We won't hold that against you.
I know. We just happen to be first cousins, and even though he is younger than my oldest child, but that's how it works sometimes. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your blessings of this day, for giving us the grace and the ability to be in this place this morning. Thank you for the sun shining, the new day you've given us, the opportunities you have to give us to serve our fellow man. I pray this morning that you will grant guidance to this body that meets here to conduct the business of Logan County. I pray you'll give them wisdom and courage to do what's right. Just thank you again for your love and your mercy upon us, upon the world that you created. We pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Now let's call this meeting to order by saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone, and I appreciate everyone showing up today. First order of business is approval of minutes.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. All right. We have a representative from the Barren River Child Advocacy Center. Sorry, it's a hard word to say. Would like to present to the court.
George, I have two young ladies on their way. Could I wait until they come? Right here. Believe it or not, I had one of those in class, and I had Thomas. I'm really feeling old this morning.
Thomas was bad, wasn't he?
Star pupil. Star pupil.
You were the star pupil. I'm going to say that class was a really good class. I didn't have to send you to the office at all.
You don't have to butter him up. It's okay.
At the table, there's brochures, and they look like this. They have just been redone. Basic
fact sheet too. We'll
Oh, you
send
got a
out.
fact sheet. Okay, pass them up. Pretend like you're a teacher. I've done that many times.
There we go.
Take one and pass it down.
There you go.
I always figured in the classroom if you had a handout, you were successful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I am Paula Clark, as the judge started, and I get this phone call one day from one of my fellow teachers. She talked about 100 miles fast, and at the end of this, I said, okay, never dreamed what I was getting into. But this has become my mission. I took that statistics course in college, and I learned how to bring statistics home. Every week, a child is sexually molested in Logan County. And the facts are there, and the percentage is rising. The court has so much supported us, and we're appreciative. And we would like for you to consider today increasing your funding by $500. But if you feel more, we'll take more. You know, it's just, Ann knows how I am, Thomas. What we do at the center, these young ladies will explain. And it's sad, one per week is way too many here in Logan County. So this is Brittany and Mariah, and I'm going to let them just take it away.
Hi, as Paula said, my name is Brittany Brooks. I'm a child advocate at the Child Advocacy Center. This is Mariah, and she also covers Logan County for the Child Advocacy Center. So at the Child Advocacy Center, we of course serve the 10-county Brad area, and we provide services to child victims of sexual abuse and their non-offending caregivers. We also see kids for physical abuse, witness to violence, human trafficking, witness to abuse, witness to homicides, the list goes on. But we provide specialized services. In the brochure, it kind of lays out a little bit about our services, but we provide something called forensic interview services. So anytime, and all of our referrals come from local DCFS and law enforcement agencies here in Logan County. So anytime we receive a call when an allegation of abuse is made, we'll hear from either somebody from the Logan County Sheriff's Office or Russellville PD or the local DCFS office here to set up services. And so part of what we do is kind of a collaborative mission with local law enforcement and social services. And then at the Advocacy Center, we provide services, specialized services, so that when the child and family arrives, that child is able to share their story and things that happen to them in a safe and child-friendly environment. And we'll provide services to that family while that child is with a specially trained forensic interviewer. We also provide child sexual abuse medical examinations as well. So that is, we have 4 volunteer physicians that work with us that volunteer their own time. All of them have practices outside of our agency, but we're blessed to have 4 physicians. That's more than any child advocacy center in the state, so we're very blessed. But they're able to provide services to all the kiddos, any child that needs a medical exam. And so that is a comprehensive exam that looks a little bit different than like a physical abuse exam or just a common physical, but they're able to document evidence and different things to for that investigation, but also so that child can know that their body is okay and that they're okay. So there's also something called a safe kit, and so if that is something as a means to collect evidence for that child's law enforcement case. So if that's something that is needed, then they are able to complete that as well. We also provide mental health services. We have 4 therapists on staff as well. We've also increased, as the years have gone on, we've increased our staff from 5 to I think we now have 17 staff members. So that's been wonderful in my 5 years that I've been there. So that's been a really great increase. But we've also been able to serve more children in the community. I think our numbers have rose tremendously in the time that I've been there and the kids that we've seen. As you can see on the statistics sheet, Logan County ties for the 3rd most served county in the Brad region.
2 questions.
Yeah.
What is our funding for you now?
So currently it is $1,500.
$1,500 annually.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And this is used for general purposes, or is it the designations? I
So,
don't see that on here.
Yes, so it is for general purposes. That's something else that we have just started, a program that is like a court education piece and court support. That is something that we are working on rolling out throughout all of our counties. We are currently only doing that, I think, in 2 to 3 counties, but that is something, as we've seen the need arise, that is something that we hope to be able to produce those materials and get those materials and the education to all of our community members. And we also do
provide education for the schools as well. There's a curriculum, it's a pre-K through first grade curriculum called ROAR, and it is something that our community outreach coordinator provides to any and all schools that would like to be a part of that. And so right now I'm not sure exactly how many, we're in several schools. I can't remember which schools exactly, but.
Well, for the sake of explaining this to constituents around the county, we would need to have an itemized what you use the money for.
Okay.
Okay? And it sounds like a fabulous thing you're doing, and I totally support your increase, but I would like to see what it's going for specifically.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good.
Yeah, I think the sheriff.
They are very, very important to what we do when these cases. So if a case comes in, I guess in the days when I used to work the road, DCBS would come and we would sit down, and there might be 2 or 3 interviews of a child by different people. So what they do is the state and has gotten together and they've created these centers. And when a child comes in or we're investigating that type of incident, we get with DCBS, we get together and we go to these ladies. And then we're there, they have the doctors, they have everything right there. So they try to eliminate only one interview process. It doesn't always, but I mean, that's basically, we get our bulk of our information. Without these ladies in that center, we could not do the good of jobs we do, because they take a load off us. We're there with them. They're the experts, and we work so well together and tremendous that I think that's why we see more cases come out. More people speak out and report these things, because they're learning that there is a place to go. It's not just sitting in a concrete room with an officer asking very awkward questions that we're all extremely uncomfortable with. And these are rock stars. I mean, they are big voices for the children. They're voices for us sometimes, but they're very, very important to what we do across the state.
Done in your building?
No, we go to them. We do, everything goes to them in Bowling Green. We coordinate and schedule times depending on the case and the issues. And if it's something quick, they bring them on and they make it work. So we can provide resources instantaneously sometimes. And like I said, each case is different and how we do them, but they're a huge asset to Logan County, across the state of Kentucky, but I will say for us, they are a huge asset because those are very, very difficult cases, and that we can rely on them. They teach us how to be better and things, and then, again, I'm telling you that it's a very worthy cause too.
Now, there are regional offices in the state, and ours for Logan County is in Bowling Green.
In
Yes.
Bowling Green, absolutely. Yeah, there's
And
15
that
across
covers
the
all the way
state.
to Hopkinsville, is that correct?
So no, there's 15 centers throughout this state, and so we cover the 10-county Brad region. We cover like Metcalfe, Monroe. I think, well, I want to say it's listed on there because I was going to say it's really hard for. Yes, those are all the center or the counties that we cover, and then we also have another category because we also do see courtesy cases as well. So if there's a child where, say, the crime occurred outside of our area or outside of the Brad region, but they live in Logan County because they're in foster care, we will see that child at our center.
Is Bowling Green a central location for that, or are you at the tip, or you're central?
It's pretty
Metcalfe
central.
and Eglinton, et cetera.
Those are Metcalfe and Monroe are probably our lengthiest drives for families.
So that keeps it central.
Is the request that we usually do 1,500, is that, is that for this fiscal year, or is it for the next? So requesting for this fiscal year or the next?
It'll be requested for the next.
Huh?
For the next.
So,
An increase for next.
for next
Yeah.
fiscal year, okay, so it's not, yeah.
But again, I mean, they have doctors, they have the medical side of it that we need, so it's there. That's why it's so vital and so much easier for the kids.
because they can go to one place. You don't have to go to the hospital. You don't have to go here. And that's kind of the way it used to be. And that's just, it's so traumatic and so hard. So, I mean, I know court, this is Logan County and we represent Logan County. So I always say, Logan County should shine way above everybody else. So
I agree. And I think $1,500 is what they're currently getting is not near enough for the amount of work that they do, especially with the children of this county, the ones that are in need. Because when they come to see these ladies, they're at their worst.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we the judge is preparing the budget now, so we're going to start.
Prepared.
It's prepared.
It's prepared,
But
yes.
it becomes fiscal court's budget after the first reading, and we can address that, and definitely at least your $500 increase. I have no problem supporting that.
Should we make a motion today or wait?
Let's do that during the budget.
Yeah.
Put that part of your budget.
And if you all need a breakdown, then we can definitely get
No,
that
I
to you.
just think it would be helpful.
Absolutely.
Somebody asked you for
Absolutely.
their-
100%. Yes.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you guys. We appreciate your
Thank you for what y'all do.
time. Thank you.
Clark, thank you for volunteering.
Yes.
Appreciate your service to our community.
Thank you guys so
Thank you
much.
all.
We
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
again. Next on the list is approved bills and supplement bill list.
Motion to approve the bill list and supplemental bill list as presented.
I have a motion.
A second.
And a second. Is there any discussion?
I have a question about 911, the Lewisburg generator. We had a $760 maintenance on that. Was that under warranty? Can we just put that in?
That was the night that we were out all night working on it, when the whole site went down. We had a storm, we couldn't get it back up. Tried to get a hold of
It's brand
PSK.
new.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole site was down. So me and Derek and Russell and Search and Rescue were out there for, was it about 6 or 7 hours?
7 hours is what you said.
In the middle of the night.
So, but it's still under warranty and PSK put it in.
Yes,
So we tried to call PSK.
I tried to call PSK. And that's ended up, I mean, it was a decision that I had to get it back, the station back up.
Would PSK have done their labor? Labor's not covered under warranty.
Installation, usually 12 months. It's
Mhm.
12 months. I would hope so.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just want to think.
Yeah, I mean, it was just we were in a crunch.
So what was the 760? Just, I mean, who did we pay that to?
Russell Paul,
Russell Paul.
Okay.
Paul's Electric.
Okay, thanks.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion?
Did you want to ask something?
If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Maybe we can follow up PSK on.
I'll get on that. I'll talk to Pete. I'll call them.
Help reimburse that.
I'll call them and ask them about that immediately.
If the machine tore up and it's under warranty, do they not reimburse the labor or something?
That's what I'm wondering.
I'll get you a better answer on that. Next up is treasurer's report. Miss Amanda is out sick today. So we have Miss Hannah going to come up and give us a treasurer's report.
Good morning. You all should have a list of budget transfers that we need to get approved.
So move. Budget transfers totaling $43,781.39. Second.
Oh, got a motion and a quick second. Any other discussion?
Jason.
No further discussion. Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
We also have 2 cash transfers this morning. The first one, need to transfer $10,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Tax Fund to the LGEA Fund.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Was that 10, did you say?
Yes.
10, yeah. It sounded like 2. I heard that also. No further discussion? Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And we also need to transfer $45,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Task Fund to the 911 fund.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
What was the amount? 45.
45,000.
No, to that, 911.
No further discussion? Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
That's all.
Thank you.
Good enough, thank you.
Next on is road work request. We'll start with District 2.
Continue maintenance.
District 3.
There you go. Kelly, continue maintenance, but if you ever want to go look at those Kingsford Road and Ferguson Road that I bought up last month, I'll be happy to go with you and look at those.
District 4, continue maintenance.
District 5.
Thank you. I see a lot of work that a lot of people called about, and they're very happy. I hadn't even heard about all the stuff that you've done, and I see it now. Thank you.
District 6, continue maintenance. Still want to get with you, go out there to West Valley Drive, to look at that one spot whenever you get a chance. We'll meet that homeowner.
District 1, out on Head Cemetery Road, just need to get some gravel on that tile. And then, and then on Concord Road, we need to cut back some trees there, and we need to also cut some trees that are too close to the road. There was a wreck there last week where someone hit the tree because it was so close to the road, so we need to get the tree cut down. I don't know where we're at on the tree budget, but I really need to go on for safety issues. So.
We'll let Kelly look at it and decide, and we can go from there.
Okay. We got a rounding head on that thing, don't we now?
Well, we just took it off.
Oh,
It's back.
okay.
All right. If no further, I need a motion and a second on the road work.
Make a motion to approve the road request.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Oh, Chris, I was noticing where they're doing the solar thing, Watermelon Road, Estate Road.
Yes.
Yeah, they're beating it up pretty good.
Yeah, they came Friday to do some temporary patching.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was staying, I saw the white line, so it's usually pretty
I
good.
just painted that last Tuesday.
Man, you knew the day. That's impressive.
He drives
If I got run off the road by it,
I was gonna say, you knew the day it went up.
Put a line on
That's a
Parker Mill Road.
magistrate right there.
That is a magistrate. That's what it is.
yeah, they put the white line right through the broken pavement. So.
You couldn't see it.
You live out that way? Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you, guys. Next up is elected official. Sheriff Stratton, please.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
I got a few things this morning, good things. First, I want to start, get court's permission. I got 2 quotes to upgrade the flooring at the sheriff's office, and we're going to start with the front office part. It hasn't probably been done since we moved into that building, so we've got inmates have been painting for about 2 weeks, so we're repainting everything and trying to make a change. So I got 2 quotes. They broke them down separately. So, make sure it says on here. One is for like the front lobby part where the public accesses, and the other one is for where the girls sit. So it should specify on it.
Which,
Yeah.
I'll go to bat for sheriff on this. The carpet in there is pretty rough.
Yeah, I was just in there yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
Is it rougher than the courtroom?
actually, yes.
Yeah.
You wanted them done in two
Pretty
separate.
rough.
It's pretty
That's
bad.
kind of how they broke them down, so I just went with them, but I want to do them both at the same time, yeah.
You getting carpet in the lobby?
No, it's hardwood flooring. Actually, I said carpet. These are for hardwood flooring in the front.
Like a real hardwood.
Is it like the LV?
Or is this-
LV, the LV.
This is like what we put down in the,
Yeah, the very
manual.
high traffic, they recommend it. Well, we debated on doing the rest of the building that way, but I don't know, there's more mud, there's more water, the patrol room takes a little more meat. I wasn't sure how that would handle.
If you use that kind of flooring that has like a, it's flexible,
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom has like we use it at the view shop. And
No,
it's waterproof.
Yeah, that's basically what we've got downstairs in Amanda's office and
Yeah,
my
and that,
office.
and the rest of the building, the hallways and the rest of the building will be a next year thing. I kind of worked on a budget. This is just for upfront, this year's budget. So I kind of doing the front of the building first, and then I'll do the rest later. The rest of the building will be a little bit more expensive project, but the carpet in the patrol room is actually, wore out to the concrete in just a few places. And it's chairs, it's the boots, it's the in and out stuff, because they're in that part mostly. But I'll look at I like the planking all throughout the building, and just wasn't sure. But y'all like it, I'll like it.
Well, it's really good high traffic stuff.
It is, and,
Some clear chair protectors.
yeah. Well, we've got tennis balls on some of them, but I'd say that carpet was put in there the early 2000s, not long after we moved in, when they first, and I think that was 2004 maybe, or 2 or something.
No, it's 20 years old.
Yeah, it's at least 20 years old.
It's time.
And it's held up great. I mean, honestly, for that type of wear, it's just been the last couple of years, it's just starting to really wear out. So.
Did they both quote the same material?
Yes, same material, same square footage, everything, same specs. They both had the same specs.
It was cheaper, what's the summary of them?
Yeah. And I'd like whoever does it to do
75-13 versus 78-64. Rough.
Does that include baseball?
Tell me the 75,
Yes.
what, Thomas?
Is that-
I mean, that's rough, round numbers, man.
Did you do that in your head or?
75-13. 75-13.
It's a roofer
versus
calculator.
78-64.
They always just estimate.
Jason's pretty good at that.
He's seen
Thomason's and the cheaper one.
But I made sure they had the same understanding of what we were wanting.
78 change.
Yeah, I mean, they're both, the bids are.
Whose is that one? That's Thomason's.
Williams Flooring and Elton. No, Auburn.
Auburn. And then this one was Thomason's Decorating here in Russell.
So I missed that discussion. You have that in your budget?
Yes, sir.
Make a motion to accept Thomason's quote for $7,513 and some change.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
That may be $1 off, Olivia, so you might have to tweak the numbers, but they are the low bid.
You said Thomason's?
Is there any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilka,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
All right, good stuff. Now, I got 3 personnel action requests on new hires. So the first one is William Henson. He has 10 years of law enforcement experience, but he is also a Army combat veteran. He is also a paramedic, and he is also a law enforcement officer. So
That's a trifecta there.
Well,
An overachiever.
if you want to give more years of experience for that type of extra training, he was sure would be appreciative, but he is a trifecta. He is going to be very good for the project that I have in mind for him, and some new things to come that will be starting next school year. So very excited for him to be.
He's not for an SRO. What's he been for?
He is starting as a road deputy. He's going to start as a road deputy, and then we're going to look at something different. We're going to get him in the door this way.
Yeah.
I look at it.
Can I have the flooring quotes, Tyler?
What's that?
The flooring quotes for the sheriff's department?
I got him. I'll get him to you.
Good.
Yes, well, and I will say that these three new hires is because of what the court has done with our new scale and pay. That was started a few years ago before the three of you came, and that the three of you are going to continue, hopefully. Just a little poke there, but it literally is because of what we've been able to change the last few years.
Competitive.
We're competitive, and it's starting to see people all, they're, hey, we want to come work, but if I can make $2 more here, I'm staying here. So we're seeing the fruits of that labor from past court and the present court as well.
We're almost there. We're not there yet.
Well, I know, but it's important for you guys to know that this is a product of what the past court has done,
Being able
and knowing what the future court is enthused about. That we have a court that supports us, because sheriff's conferences, a lot of court sheriffs tell the stories that they battle with their court all the time.
No, we're grateful.
No, and I tell people that all the time. So
Sheriff acts right, you ain't got no problem.
That's right.
It's pretty simple.
I agree. Well, that's a different soapbox, but
Public, ain't no different at the home, just act right.
that's right. You're absolutely right.
We're well served and we're grateful.
Make a motion to approve personal action request of William S. Henson, giving him credit of 10 years experience, and pay scale LC-SO-1. Let's see the effective date.
Okay. On that one, he is working on his notice with the other agency, so we're not sure, but it will be the month of May. I meant to bring that up.
Effective date pending.
Yeah.
I second that.
He was trying to work some things out at the agency he worked with. All right, number 2 is Kyle Petio. He is a 10-year experienced officer from Robertson County, Tennessee Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, we need to vote on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm fired up. I got fired up.
I got a motion and a second. Sheriff's so excited to get new employees.
I'm telling
push
you.
them all through at one time.
I am.
Is there any other discussion? If not, let's go ahead and have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Mr. Petticoat comes from Robertson County, Tennessee. He lives in Logan County. He's worked there for 10 years as well, so we're excited to have him. Our Richmond Training Center, DOCJT, accepted his training through Tennessee, so he only has to do an 80-hour class to get his Kentucky certification. So we're very excited for him and his family. They live out in campground. Yes.
Make a motion to approve the personal action request of Kyle R. Pettigo, giving him a credit of 10 years experience, putting in a base schedule of LC-SO-1, effective date May the 1st of 2023.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yes. That's where they're going to start.
If no further discussion, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Sorry. The third one is a former employee, Kyler Harvey. He left us, I forgot, 2017 maybe, went to Logan Aluminum because of pay. He worked there a couple of years. He went back to Muhlenberg County and got active in law enforcement again. And now he has applied and has accepted a position with us back here in Logan County. He has 11 years experience.
Your case numbers will double.
Yes.
He's the most active police officer.
Yeah, he's extreme. Actually, all three of these are very passionate about road work and other avenues as well. So yes, we will have more out on the roads, doing more, and like I said, we've got a few things we're going to work on come new.
Deterrence.
Yes.
I confirmed that I got the salary schedule.
He left before because pay was better.
Yes.
And
He
that's
went
why-
to Logan because obviously they pay pretty good, but he's, he put a couple of years in, and he's a very financial minded guy, I'll say that, and he did what he needed to do, and now he's in a good position, and he wants to come back here because this is where he started.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Make a motion to approve personal action request of Barry Kyler Harvey. Give him an accredited experience of 11 years, putting him in the base schedule of LC-SO-1, effective date May 8th, 2023.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
We're not going to get to that.
Any further discussion?
I still have 3.
If not, roll call, please.
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
I have more than that,
Yes.
actually. I
Wilcox?
have,
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Bolden?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
I have 3 road deputies still open positions. I have an SRO, which is probably going to be filled before the new school year starts, and then 1 DTF position. So.
3 that will be starting before school.
No, I've got 3 road openings still as road deputy openings, and I have 1 SRO opening, but I'm working on filling that one before the next school year starts. So I feel good that we'll have a full slate of SROs for the new school year. So
Good.
we lost the school resource officer a couple of months ago to a different job. He went to work for AOC, court administration, as a bailiff. He works high profile trials. So we've lost 1, but we're hoping to get all that filled by next school year. So a lot of things in plan, but we'll let you know when it's cemented in. But I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Next up, Stacy Watkins, Clerk.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are y'all doing? I do have a personal action request. I'm going to ask you guys to consider increasing a stipend for my chief deputy clerk due to the fact we did a pay study and found that we're not as competitive as surrounding counties or counties that have similar size population. And I'll be honest, I mean, what brought this up, she was headhunted by a different clerk's office, and I don't want to lose her. So I would like to be able, we're still not going to be able to offer her what she was offered, but I would like to get closer, and I want to keep her here, and I want to keep her happy. I was just going to ask if we could please consider increasing this stipend. I think he's already got it set to be increased to $650 on the LCCO 1S4 from $650. I was going to ask if we could possibly move that to $8 or whatever you think is appropriate.
Is that close enough to her other offer?
It's not.
I'm not asking specifics.
Well, since we brought it out in the light, I want to know specifics. How much was she offered?
She was offered $30 an hour.
I have a real concern to start messing with pay schedule on the pretenses that people have been headhunted and I'm fixing to lose employees. That is a terrible precedent to start. You're head of that, that's your department, but that's a bad cycle. I can just foresee, and I appreciate you doing that. It's your job as, you know, the head of that department to come and advocate for your employees. But, you know, we are a county employer to represent 120 plus employees. And if we start, you know, Kelly should be up here next week, and Toomey should be up here the next week, and, you know, Stephen should be up here the next week, making those same assumptions, and that is a terrible practice. We should pay a fair market value for the job position, and that should be discussed in y'all's meetings as personnel policy and setting those scales, which I know y'all have headhunted, and not headhunted, but y'all see what other departments pay, and y'all work with department heads. But I'm not going to sit here and vote on a change in any salary based on the fact that someone has been headhunted.
I did do a pay study.
I don't even know any more details. My vote will be no.
I did do a pay study on the counties that I was requested to get. I didn't get answers from all of them. I did start out naively. I went through and tried to find the ones that were closest to us in population, because that, I mean, really does determine like our workload in our office. That, and of course the amount of employees. However, I do understand Logan County is not where some of those counties are due to industry, lack of industry, tax dollars. So then I went with the surrounding counties. Shy of like Trigg County and Todd County, I would say. I mean, you know, we are better than Todd and Trigg County, but we're much larger than Todd and Trigg County, and we do have more industry than they do. When we're talking about Simpson County, we're behind them. We're also behind Warren County as well. I think as far, and from what I've gathered, like our start pay is right where everybody else's is. We're right on target for what we're bringing them in, 0 years of experience. But when we start getting into the positions with more responsibility, we're not where other counties are. And so I would just like to ask if I need to have another meeting with the payroll committee, whatever I need to do. But I do want to.
That's where it should happen, because I don't even want to know the employee, because I'm for all county employees. I don't want anybody to hear me wrong.
Would y'all want to have a meeting?
I don't want to start
Thank you.
people standing up here before court advocating. I need to pay this person more because they've been headhunted.
I did reach out to the payroll committee. I did reach out to them.
Well, you know, I guess you feel like the payroll committee is not doing what they should be doing, or that still needs to be.
No, I won't say that. I
would reach out to the judge.
I was told to bring it to court. That's what I was told to do.
Please don't give no names, because I don't want to know. Because I don't know anybody's feelings, but my vote would be no. I'm not doing a pay increase because somebody was dead.
Before we make a motion on this, why don't Stacy and the entire personnel committee get together, and then if we need to bring this back to discussion next.
Okay.
We will. Is that okay?
Thank you.
And
Can we do that? Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Okay, I also have, while I'm up here, I also have some information for you guys, just in case y'all wanted to pass it out to your constituents, or if anybody were to ask you. This isn't a huge election we've got coming up. For some reason, the state just doesn't seem to draw as many voters out as the others, but I did make copies of this for each of you. That's going to be your sample ballot and your vote plan. We'll pass it around. There's 2 for each. There's one for Tyler, there's one for Jamie, there's one for you, Chris. You'll pass that to Miss Ann. Judge, would you like one?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. Here, Jason. There you go. Does everybody have one now? Yes. All right. So I made a copy of that for you guys just to have the reference.
You got one for Joe?
Sure. Thank you. We do have the tabulation machines are getting set today. We got our machines set last week. The local board of election, our local county board of election, is going to be meeting on Friday to inspect the machines. Anybody that's interested or would like to watch that take place, we'll meet at the office at 10 a.m. and we'll head to the Baptist building right after, if anybody would like to see that inspection take place. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night. I'll be back. I've got some more stuff.
Thank you, Stacy. Next up, Jailer Josh Toomey, please.
Good morning, boys. How's everybody? Our count as of this morning was 162, and I've got some personnel action requests too. On the first one is a young lady that comes to us from prior experience out of Missouri. She's got 3 years of experience in corrections, currently going to school in college, and she would like to work at our facility. Part-time, yes. Yes, we're trying to, of course, fill those part-time spots to make sure the personnel is going to work out. It's going to be a fit for them, fit for us, and before we move over to a full-time spot.
Dunklin County, where is that?
Out of Missouri. She moved here. She's going to college, and she enjoyed corrections there, but she's going to school. I think she wants to eventually work probation parole, but she enjoys the corrections side of things, and she would like to help us out and seeing the opening, and would like to join our agency.
I make a motion to approve the personnel action request on Dominisha
yes.
Hubert at the new hire for the Logan County Detention Center, starting at the base schedule LC-DC-1 with 3 years prior of experience, effective 4/27/23.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker,
Bless you.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you. And then my next is a promotion. Thomas Sheets, that was already an employee, credited for 15 years experience, is kind of a jack of all trades. That man helps us on the floor. He helps us with transports. He helps Class D. He helps with maintenance, but to promoting him to sergeant.
Mr. Sheets has been very helpful to the sheriff's office, to myself, to ECC, or sorry, the emergency ambulance service, sorry, man. Everywhere else that he's been affected, everywhere he goes, he's been very helpful to every one of us.
He's a person that's willing to put out extra.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
I
He'll
get that
cover,
everywhere.
he'll cover any shift, anytime he fills in. He's got prior experience as a shift captain for when he retired from Simpson County, but he's definitely a man of many hats, and he's very vital.
Do you know how many sergeants that makes you have? Do you know how many sergeants?
Not off the top of my head. We're trying to get a sergeant per shift, to where we've got a secondary. If for some reason a captain's out, that we've got a supervisor that can step up and fill that role, and he definitely can.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the personal action request of Thomas Sheets. He'll be being promoted to sergeant with 15 years prior experience. He'll be in stipend schedule LC-DC-1S2, effective date May the 1st, 23.
Mr. Davenport.
Say it again.
Right now, we only have 2 currently.
Okay.
Once I think about it and break it down, we only have 2 currently, yes. That will be number 3, and then one more promotion.
Hang on just a minute.
I'm
We got a
sorry.
motion and a second. Did we get a motion and a second on that?
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
One more promotion, Miss Nicole Smith is another person that steps up. We've had a stint where we've had some shortages working hospital detail and things of late, and that's the nature of the beast. But this young lady has really stepped up. She's picked up a lot in her time here, but recently advertised for those, and very impressed with her initiative and her leadership, and would like to promote her to sergeant as well.
Now make 4.
Yes.
What was her name?
Elizabeth Nicole Smith. Make a motion to approve the personal action request for Elizabeth Nicole Smith. She's been promoted. She has 0 years of experience, which is her first year. And she's promoted to sergeant, schedule LC-DC-1S2, effective date May the 1st.
Second. Okay, have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I would like to say, I think, I don't think we've got this currently, but in our next cycle in the fiscal year, I think it'd be a good idea to define how many sergeants we, cap out at, and how many lieutenants we have. That way, we just kind of keep an idea
Of course.
where that is on
Yes,
the
sir.
budget. Okay.
When
Yes,
I'm
sir.
voting, I don't know if we exceeded the
Right. So this is
amount
full.
we've allotted or not. I'm assuming personnel has done that. So you know what I'm saying? If I'm approving, for somebody going from sergeant to lieutenant or vice versa, I don't know if that creates another position or not, because we shouldn't be doing that. We have 10 approved positions. You can't approve the 11th position without asking the court.
No, this
for that
isn't.
first.
This is not an additional position.
Yeah, but I don't know that. When I vote, I don't know. When he just made that promotion, if that took us over that limit, I have no way of knowing that. I trust you do.
Do we need to bring?
Then that's what I'm saying. We should have those positions. I mean, I trust what he says, I believe him, and just, he gave his update of how many road deputies he was down, how many SROs he was down, so I'm assuming to hear from him.
Yeah, we know how many slots there are, but specifically how many slots for a sergeant, how many slots for a lieutenant, like total number, that's already nailed down, but it's never in the past been nailed down to how many of each of those that we have.
I think you're asking, why don't we look at that?
Oh, we did that. So you don't have how many lieutenants that you have?
I mean, we know how many we have, but like the limit of how many lieutenants we can have, I don't know.
So are you saying that basically we have a limit of how many employees?
So how many supervisory roles is what I'm taking?
I'd have to call the former chair up here, but when he created those new positions, when we created positions, like, hey, we have 4 of these positions, and I'd like to have 5th, and we approved that 5th position. And we have 10 deputies,
I
or
want to get to
17
where
road
there's a
deputies.
supervisor,
I would like to
sergeant,
add
and a
another.
captain for each shift,
You
and
know?
then their deputies
You're
under,
right.
before you can step up a sergeant in the place of a captain like we had
So
on
like you
vacation.
have, you come
We'll
forward and.
investigate first.
Last
you
couple
come
of weeks
forward
that they
and
go
say,
up,
like, say
so
you
they
got
can step up, and that's what
17
this young lady did, step up,
If
lead
you
that
want
shift.
18, you come
I
forward
think
and ask
what
for
he's
one
asking
more,
is
right?
just
No.
What's-
That's
Yeah,
not,
I
it's
don't
two-
think
it's
that
just-
would-
Like,
and
you
I
got
was
30
never told.
employees.
If
Yes,
you-
and I was
if he
never
has
told how
18
many
total
you can
deputies,
promote,
uh-huh.
but I'm trying to limit that to one
Going to
per shift.
19, yes, that would
one
need
each
to
per
be
shift.
approved.
So-
But if you have 18 total, but 3 of them are sergeants and 3 of those 18 are lieutenants and 3 of those are so-and-so, you're changing the total number. We're talking about the total number of,
It's the same slot.
it's the same slot,
So-
but it could be a slot of a
Like one
lieutenant.
of those 18's a captain. and
Right.
one of
So like on
those-
Tyler's pay schedule, he needs to know how many slots
Yeah,
for
you need to
captain,
keep up with that.
how many.
So we can't have 18 sergeants, is that?
17 or 17.
No.
So, okay, I'm trying
But
to
I'm not
understand
trying to.
this.
I'm with you.
I think he's
Let's,
just trying to be
let's
cognizant
talk
of-
about this
Yeah.
with the judge, later, we'll try to figure out, and then we'll make sure it's part of our personnel
So
policy moving
we're,
forward.
we're not moving the needle of total number
No.
of employees at the, jail.
No.
I mean,
Now, like me, it would be the same for Josh, that you start out with 17 road deputies, but I may move a road deputy to a detective. It's the same position, it's just a different title and job description.
You're told- you're
But
told
how,
that
how many detectives you have,
Well, right, is there, and that's a question.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know,
Amount of
I know that you generally have 2, I think. So for you to have a third one, you
I would
could,
have to explain why I need a third.
well, but I guess if it was in your budget, that you had the money to
Which is
do it.
correct.
But
I
I
see
think,
what you're saying.
I think we need to define that better as far as the number of, now I
At least
know.
going into the year knowing, like, we understand this is X number of sergeants, X number of lieutenants, X number of captains.
Yeah, we know how many total employees that department has, but as far as, get a little more granular and a little more specific on the,
Job title.
and I've talked to Tony about that before, he don't have a problem doing that, it's not
Of
an
course
issue.
not.
So
Of course not.
we'll figure it out, I just wanted to mention it, so.
Well, that's a good thing to do.
So, just to make one more analogy, make sure I'm on the same page, so it's Stacy's department. The request that she was making to change, I don't even know what that job title was, but that, what was it?
Chief Deputy.
Chief Deputy, are you telling me in Stacy's department, we do not have a limit on how many chief deputies she's got? She
I don't
can
know
have?
if that's defined.
Well, it should be, because if not, she'd move everybody to chief deputy. Why wouldn't she, if that's not defined, why wouldn't she just move up here and say, well, you know what, I'm gonna just move everybody to chief deputy? We should define it.
Yeah.
Well, we were gonna do that, but I don't guess we're doing that
No,
now.
you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I think that's a good discussion, and I think the personnel department needs to get back.
To y'all and say, hey, you know, I mean, we have to be reasonable. If not, you get into politics. Hey, you want to do this, let's just move everybody to this position because it gets them paid more. And we create in her case, a chief deputy position under the assumption that we need one, you know, but that is an assumption, we shouldn't do that.
Of course
If
not.
he needs 10 captains, he should tell you, I need 10 captains, 12 lieutenants, whatever the case may be. He needs to say, I need 4 detectives, 10 SROs, and we have approved SROs by the county, you know, so we should have that.
And all I'm looking for-
They're total that they say that they have, right?
And all I'm looking for,
That's
Mr.
what I
Bolton,
wanna do.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I can't figure out why, since 2006, you ain't done asked us.
no, and all I'm looking for is a primary supervisor, secondary for each shift.
How many shifts do you
I'm gonna
have?
blame Logan.
Well, we've got 2-day shifts, and when one's working, the other's off, and then 2 night shift crews, to where one's working, the other's off.
think
So
it's
all I'm
mostly
looking
just
for
been
is a
like
supervisor, a primary supervisor,
They work
captain,
in
and a
the
sergeant for each shift, where, so somebody can step up when need be, when one's out of pocket, so.
Yeah.
Like, where we at? Did we approve that?
Yeah, I think we.
And we had a motion and a second?
We had a motion and a second, we just hadn't voted on it yet.
Okay.
So any further discussion? We're good on
This is a
that.
shift head that you're looking at.
With secondary, yes, it'd be a sergeant position, yes, ma'am.
If no further discussion, roll call, please.
Davenport.
Yes.
Goodwin.
Yes.
Wilco.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Holden.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you
Is that
very
all you
much.
have? Thank you, sir.
We've got 1 full-time and right now 2 part-time. Yes. Thank you.
I have a very pregnant clerk over here that is telling me bathroom break, but she told me to chug on through for a little bit longer. Department heads, since the coroner, Ben Kemplin, he's in a conference this week. He's had a pretty busy last couple of weeks, so he didn't have a report anyway. So let's move on to department head reports. Ms. Ginger, ECC.
Morning again.
Morning.
Well, I don't have any personnel action requests this morning, but I will next time. And I think that me and Tyler have mine set up where it only gives us a certain amount of employees, and they can just, I don't have it where, we have it in different tiers, but I have 10 employees is the way I think we have it set up. I don't think it says I can only have certain.
I don't think it's defined anywhere. I mean, I know we know the total number of employees slots you have for,
And then it just depends on training.
But yours is different because yours depends on training. So everybody can be at a level of training on hers because, they have specialized trainings for different areas, and we want every one of them, if possible, to have that. So, and that's why
because we worked hard on mine not too long ago.
That's why we went to this, to where everybody had their own salary schedule because in reality, all these jobs are different in a way. We try to do all this under the same list of pays.
And it was hard, especially with buying in the sheriff's department because of our training.
And adjust your pay without it affecting whoever else was in pay grade 20 or whatever it was, So yeah, yours is a different situation just because it's based on training.
But I have 2 that are in their second week of the academy. They graduate on the 12th, which will put them going up to another level as soon as they graduate. So we'll be bringing that next time. But unless anybody has any questions or anything for me, it's other than being extremely busy the last couple of weeks. We've had a rough couple of weeks down there, but other than that, we're in good shape.
Are you still short any positions?
I am short 2 full-time positions and 1 part-time position.
But she hasn't advertised it because
We're trying to get some of them trained first.
they have to train them, and they have to go to academy, and they don't have enough people to train.
We don't have enough places to put them until we get some more certified people there because
They can work by themselves.
24 hours a day, we have to have a certified dispatcher in there at all times.
Oh.
So there for a long time, there was only like 4 of us that were certified. So we were, trying to train the ones that weren't. And now we've got 2 that'll be back at, after the 12th, and they'll be certified. Of course, we won't want to put them with a new person yet, with them being so new in their job, but they're going to be able to help us out with some of those. So it's just been, we have completely rebuilt up a department since October, I guess.
That's pretty fast. Really.
We've done really good.
Since we made it more
lucrative.
Yes,
lucrative.
it's we're more competitive
Yeah.
with the people around us. Yes, so.
Okay.
But unless anybody has any questions, there's that you were asking me about. All right, y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Ginger. Thank you for all your work. Denise, do you have anything from the archives? Okay. Nathan is out today. Do we need to?
We have it on the agenda later.
What's that?
We have it on the agenda later.
info.
His
I
order.
think it's just.
Next up, Kelly, do you have anything? Kelly Wilson, Road Department. You said Scotty's is going to start paving hopefully in the next little bit? Tomorrow morning. That's the next little bit.
They'll do the flex roads first, just be patient, they'll work their way out.
Correct.
We gotta get the flex roads done.
We're going to hit the flex roads first and then going to catch on from there. Kelly, I appreciate it. Have any other questions for Kelly? Okay.
I
question, and I don't know if it's county-wise or if it's city. At the crossroads where the B3 is, and it circles around to come to Carpenter, is that county or is that city?
City.
Thank you. John Holder, ambulance service.
I'll be brief. Just to recap a little bit, we have $10,000 in grant money that needs to be spent by July, and we had discussed purchasing a stretcher with that. The new stretcher, the vendor price on that was around $28,000. In the interim, we found a couple of other refurbished units from reputable places that have a advertised price of between $9,000 and $10,000, which would be right at the cost of the grant. So that would be ideal. We've used refurbished units before, and we've had good luck with them. So I don't have any pause in doing that if that's the court's pleasure. I just wanted to bring that information before you and see what you'd like to do moving forward.
Only question I had was a refurbished unit. How long are they good for?
So the manufacturer doesn't cover them anymore, but the company that refurbishes them covers them for the 7-year period. Just like, yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I do too.
Need action from us?
I think so. That was my question. These are all advertised prices, so if, I mean, if we're okay if we have to go through a bid process or anything like that. But I was just going to check with the court and see.
You can get a quote.
Sure.
You don't have to advertise that. You can just request a quote.
Sure.
Judge, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can request a quote and bring us a quote.
And I've got, again, those are advertised prices, so they're literally posted. I brought those with me.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, let's do it right now. You got the refurb, and you've got at least 1 or 2.
I do. Yeah, I've got 2 here. And I would like to point out that the difference is one is refurbished, the other is used. I would recommend the refurbished option, obviously.
Grant to pay for these. So we got what difference it does.
Well, we can just put that in the motion that we pay for.
Thank you, sir.
He already has that in his
I think it's multiple copies of.
Yes, they are. Same thing. Yeah, same thing. Just one for everybody.
Right.
Okay.
So the document you have before you, the stretcher on the top is the refurbished unit. It comes with a mattress, 2 batteries, charger. The one on the bottom is used without a mattress. And the refurbished one with all the parts is $1,000 cheaper. So
You said the new one was like
28.
$28,000.
Yes, sir.
Is this in stock? It says it is.
It is.
Verified?
It was when I pulled those numbers, yes, sir.
You recommend the top one?
I do.
Okay.
It's been gone through and has all the parts we need. And
Yeah, I can't see buying a used one versus a refurbished for that money.
yeah, from our standpoint, it's kind of an easy decision, but.
And as you said, this is grant money. We're basically going to.
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the purchase of the Striker's 6500 Power Pro XT for $89.50, and we use the available grant funds to pay for it.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this?
And that's the I guess that's the refurb. So both the same model. So the refurbished.
Yeah. The only other thing for consideration is if it comes in under the 10 and we're using the $10,000 of grant money, anything we don't use, we have to give back. So it may be advantageous to purchase another battery or something to get us to that $10,000 mark.
Well, that'll be under, so yeah.
That's part of Chris's motion, right?
Yes, that's a good motion. Yes, sir.
Is it matching?
No.
Yes, my second. Oh.
Okay, so we've had a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Let's bring up the Humane Society real quick, and after that, we'll take a short break.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry. So we'll start with our shelter count for the month of March. Our beginning shelter count was 73 animals, 66 dogs and 7 cats. Our intakes were 8 total for ACO pickup, 7 dogs and 1 cat. Police pickup was 1, that was a dog. A citizen drop-off is 26 total, 18 dogs and 8 cats. 1 abandoned animal being a dog. We had 55 owner surrenders, 28 dogs, 27 cats. Returns were 3, 1 dog and 2 cats. Our total intake for the month was 104, being 64 dogs and 40 cats. Our live release rate was 81.61% for the month of March. We had 39 shelter adoptions, 34 dogs and 5 cats. 22 animals sent out to rescue, 4 dogs, 18 cats, 16 euthanasias being 16 dogs, 10 animals reclaimed, 9 dogs and 1 cat, and our shelter count ending in 90 animals, 67 dogs and 23 cats.
So euthanasia figures have went way up, it looks like. Is that correct? Or?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say up. The live release rate varies based off your adoptions. So for the month of February, we did not have any euthanasias at all, but Kelly was not able to come down, who is the person that we use regularly.
It was a rollover.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we've been able to, the power to euthanize, so
Who's Kelly?
we've done so.
From Bowling Green. She's the one that the invoice comes from.
So part of the Humane Society's contract is, with the county, is to provide an ACO officer. Who is that ACO officer?
Chase Smith,
Chase Smith.
which I think isn't the ACO stuff being added before the beginning of the fiscal court year, the new one.
It's in there.
Yeah, it's part of the contract.
It's part of it now.
It
Right.
has been, I thought. So yeah, part of the contract of the Humane Society is for the Humane Society to provide an ACO officer. And, I don't know, specifics, but I do know that I do have calls in regards to ACO not responding in some cases. I can't give you specifics. I can't give you any, I just know the calls that I receive that some calls are not being done, and I'm sure y'all are busy. I'm sure it's got to do with your employees and a number of people. But I just, part of the county's responsibility is to pick up animals that are either, in my opinion, that are strays, or we have to keep that control. And I don't know if, I think they usually call the Ginger at 911 center. That's where the call starts, and I think she probably has lots of CADs available if we need to, review that. But moving forward, I hope that the board, and now that you're a new director, that you really focus on that ACO response and pickup. There was also, I had a call yesterday morning from a pretty upset grandfather, and I don't blame him, where his grandson was mauled by a dog across the road, and he's going to have somewhere near 100 stitches. And the dog is still at the home. I don't know the protocol and the laws specifically, but moving forward, I would hope that we could maybe there could be a state law that says, hey, you can do this or you got to do that. But I'm hoping that maybe moving forward we can work on something that says if in any way a dog is to attack a human, that dog is to be picked up by, I don't care who it is, and quarantined by the county or by the Humane Society, and not allowed to still be at the home across, I can imagine, that child coming back home and still be able to see that dog, right across the road.
Is that not the law now? Do they not have to quarantine if if you get bit by a dog, do you not have to be picked up and quarantined?
The owner has the right to quarantine the dogs as well. And the arrangement is the owner's quarantining the dog for 10 days, surrendering to the animal shelter for immediate euthanasia. The owner of the dogs has been to Vanderbilt with the parents of the minor. So we have been in close contact, and I did respond the day of the call, but it went through email, and apparently those emails do not get back to dispatch. So I talked to Ginger yesterday. We are supposed to have an email that is being set up until the fax machine can be fixed, because we haven't had a fax machine I started in February of last year, and we haven't had fax the entire time that I've been at the shelter. So we're gonna have to get EPB out, I'm assuming, to fix
I
that.
don't want to talk case specific, so this is not about
Right.
what you're referring to. I'm just asking, so you're saying the protocol, if a dog bites a human, you say the owner has the right to keep the dog. Who says they have that right?
The health department, which would be Brandy.
The health department says
Yes.
they can keep that dog.
Yes, as long as it is quarantined and they follow the laws for quarantine. Unfortunately, we cannot make them give us the animal.
Sure, I'm just wanting to know what
Yeah.
protocol. I think that's kind of crazy.
I think that one was crazy too, because we wanted to go ahead and pick them up, but the owner wanted to have them euthanized himself. But like I explained to him, if you take your approach for euthanasia, you can get in trouble, because these dogs have to be alive for the next 10 days to ensure they don't spread any infectious diseases or break with anything like that.
So this dog, I guess.
There's two of them. There's two dogs that mauled the boy. That mauled the boy. There's two dogs.
Euthanize these?
Yes, through us. So we'll have confirmation of the euthanasia as well to add with the original
Well, they can see a
report.
dog get killed, but there are some situations where a dog
That's
needs,
a- Is there
a
an-
child needs to be able to play
Yeah.
in their grandfather's yard and not worry about the neighbor's dog.
Well, the boy's a
That dog needs to
hero.
be killed
The boy's a
immediately.
hero because he
Or
saved a couple of
bail out.
kids. The dogs were going for small children, and he picked up rocks and threw
So
them.
these
So he
dogs
saved those
were
smaller
not
children. He's a
in a
hero.
fence.
It would
They were
probably kill
not.
the smaller
But they're out in the county, and we don't have leash laws out in the county, is what Jason Brent has
Is there anything
stated.
we can do as the county to change, I know that the health department has,
I would say just try to work with the health department. I don't think that's always been the approach. I recall in the past that a lot of times.
It's gone both ways, honestly. Majority were the shelter would take the dog just for, I think it was more of a peace of mind for the
Yeah.
whole situation. But now, there's been times where they've worked it out with the owner and.
Well, I can tell you now that this body of government can pass an ordinance of whatever they want to see happen with that, no matter what the health department says.
we need to do it.
Period.
That'd probably be a good
I need the
idea.
health department's permission to change that rule, and I'm not trying to trump the health department, but it's just a fact of the matter.
I think for
They
the
don't
matter,
pass laws
the matter
and
of,
ordinances.
But the problem could be.
Safety is my thing, safety.
Safety.
Because we've had like 3 or 4 of these cases in the past week. They're not all people, they're other animals, animal attacks. It's been frequent over the past week. There's been about 4 dog attack
If
bite
you all
cases.
want to actually do more on this issue, this is one where I'm going to say what she's reported sounds like a win, because we have a responsible dog owner, homeowner that's taking care of it, and maybe there's just a breakdown in communication. A lot of these aren't nearly as good long-term, because our actual ordinance that's on the books that is the equivalent of a leash law is not very good, and it's not very well known. So we could look at modernizing that to where there is more of a punishment to people who allow their dogs to run off a leash outside of a fence, to where they actually have consequences that would make them want to follow it. Because right now it's like a $10 fine.
Oh,
And
good.
that doesn't really do a whole lot. And, Sheriff's Department gets calls on it and they try to help, but a lot of these things have to come through me without really a whole lot of involvement, because a lot of times, it's his word versus her word. And so actually having a punishment with consequence could be an improvement on what we're doing right now. So I think on this one case, it is a plus. But in terms of, I'm not sure whether we can tell the health department what to do if that is specifically set out at the state level.
I don't, this is, my wife went to never, she was a child, and she still has issues, you know, so, you know, for me, it's like, I mean, I know they might have an option through the health department or something to keep the dog there, but if that child, I mean, I would be terrified, you know. So if that child had to come home and still seeing that dog, I don't care if it's in a cage or if it's locked up or whatever, it could be horrible.
But why don't we start before we go with passing laws? We'll just have some of you all talk to the health department. We could probably work something out. I'm sure we could talk to the Humane Society if we could come up with a moderate, like $10 a day fee or something that they'll be responsible and you all can make. I mean,
That
is
would
that
work. That's basically our boarding fee, so it's be pretty much the same thing. We'd be boarding, quarantining.
Yes, and I would honestly prefer that because a lot of times people are under order to do things with dogs and they often don't, or dogs can get out even when you have the best of intentions of keeping them put up. So I would feel better about that, but I wouldn't view the health department as not being unwilling to go forward with this, because I know we have at times utilized the Humane Society more on these issues.
So a meeting with the health department?
I'll reach out to the health department and get their guidelines and send it to you guys, and we'll go from there. And then
Maybe
we
just
can
talk to them and say the court has some concerns and would like to see us.
You know, I pulled the leash law one time, and I think it was from 1986. Can't remember exactly.
It's pretty old.
Yeah.
So say for instance, like to improve the, I guess you would say after hours, because we respond 8 to 3. After that, it's emergency only, which would be like, you know, the dog bite or a car accident or something like that where an animal's involved. The animal control officer van that is supplied to the Humane Society, is that vehicle to go with the animal control officer so that he has constant transportation, or is he to drive to the shelter each time we have a call and then him leave in that vehicle? Because that's a lot of our issue right now. We could shave off several minutes of time in the after hours portion of the days.
Well, I mean, I think
where does he
I would
live?
refer that back to the Humane Society board.
Okay.
Where does he live? Does he live in Logan
Auburn.
County? I mean, it's typical, a lot of times law enforcement will be able to drive their vehicles home so they can start quicker. I agree with Tyler, that's up to you all, but it's also one of those things he needs to know that that's only when he's driving home or he's out on a call, like he doesn't need to go get groceries in it, but
Absolutely.
I think that's within your all's discretion to oversee.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
had a resident who has, they have chickens and quail and some cats and stuff. 2 dogs that were belonged to the neighbor was coming over and getting into their quail and their chickens. What is the protocol? What is your protocol? Do they call the animals? Do they call the Humane Society? Do they call the police?
They call us.
Yeah.
Well, so a report was filled out, and I filled a report out, and then the homeowner filled a report out. And then that goes to the AOC, right?
Yes.
So, and I did not, it just happened recently, so I did not follow up, but I would like to know if that is the right protocol that we go through.
Yes.
You know, because it was eating.
And I'm thinking, based off of what you're reporting right now, I think we have those 2 dogs.
Okay, good.
Because I think we ended up with 5 from that vicinity when we went out.
Good.
Is it Keysburg area?
Dot.
Okay, well then yes,
So
we have those.
The dog owner, they didn't get any help from them.
Make more communication where we know what happens, because a lot of times people will call us back. I mean, just like, and people will call us numerous times over the same dogs. And I'll tell them, you know, we can't tell you when they're going to be out there. Just like yesterday, we're dealing with that accident, and people are calling, when are they going to pick these dogs up? You know, so we're dealing with all that. And as soon as we send the cat out there, they get it. But right now, we're trying to figure out a more communication between us so we know what's going on. We could actually be in during the hours hollering at the animal control unit on the radio, because that's quicker for us than having to look up his number and call. We just holler at him on the radio and he says, you know, those times he's been on both of those runs.
And I need to figure out where to get him a second one of those or a replacement, because that battery doesn't even last all day. So once it, like, you got lucky for those, but when we run into like after lunch hours, by that time we have to put it back up to be charged. So we can, yeah.
Before we have to follow up with the fax machine, they would have the CAD printed out and write on it what they did and send it back. And then we would update it. That way, if, say for instance, somebody's calling about this dog and they've been out there numerous times and can't find it, then at least we can tell the people, this is when they come out there or whatever. So we're trying to figure out more.
Yeah.
So.
Because it's tough. I mean, we respond and they don't always know. Or like we'll respond and maybe the dogs aren't there, so then the dogs show back up and they call back to let them know, and it may be, like say for instance, if it's right around 3 o'clock or a little after, then we may not see it. So then the next day we go out, the dogs are gone again.
Right.
They have no idea we went. So I think it would be, it would help us all.
Does Ginger have his emergency contact?
Yes,
the contact
and she
for
has
that?
mine as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as this fax machine, how much do you rely on this fax machine?
We've never used it, so we've just, I guess it's just never been
So
repaired.
is it an equipment problem, a service problem?
I'm assuming EPV would have to come out because I honestly don't know. I mean, it's never worked, so I don't know if it was something prior to they couldn't fix or if it's something that
So
we'd have to run new
I guess my
lines
question is
for.
if why wasn't it taken care of when it was noticed that there was something wrong with it instead of waiting until now? I guess that's my only question.
I'm not sure.
So, I mean, Scott might be willing to go out there and check it for him, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be
So,
awesome.
but I mean, y'all don't have any like documents that you're required by state or anything to fax, right? So you could do everything by email, scan by
Right.
email.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And we do write on every CAD.
I mean,
So like whenever he responds and he's on site, he takes that CAD and writes on it, and then we.
And
put it
email
in
email
files by
transactions are
city.
fine as long as I know it's being answered
Yeah.
and we're getting through, and that's fine with me because
That'll be a big help, because we'll be able to track and trace
That's
that the
fine.
calls are being responded
With
to.
our CAD system, as soon as we close it, it automatically emails it. Now, it is if it's an updated, we're having to update it, then we're having to scan it, which sometimes is hard if we're busy. But, you know, it automatically sends it, and then, you know, when me and her talked about it, she said she followed up, and I said, well, we don't ever, that is an email just in the CAD system. We
Yeah,
didn't see it.
it did
But I've
register
got
to
you
me.
an email.
Okay,
I just got
awesome.
one set up. So I'm gonna send you.
Oh, that's
Well, we were working on it, and I was talking to.
We just didn't finish
I
fast
told
enough.
my person in there this morning, we needed to do something, so she was working on an email for me. This will go, this way everybody can access, instead of sending it to our individual ones.
That
It's like if
sounds
you send it
good.
to mine and I'm not there, I might not know it till.
And then, well, that and it would all like, you know, basically be going to you, so then it would be really hard on you to get all that in and take care of everything you have.
Scott, you'd be able to get her an email set up through the Logan County KY, correct?
This is just one we can.
Okay.
Get a
Logan
gun.
County.
Right. Yeah, we,
And that dog leash law is kind of hard to enforce because it's a certain amount of acreage and you don't have to have the dog leash.
Well, I think,
That's what Steve was just saying, 5 acres.
yeah, I think farm dogs are somewhat exempt in some way.
I would like to push to enforce rabies.
agree.
Because there are so many calls that we go on where by the time it's said and done, you ask for proof of rabies, they don't have it. Now, by the law, you can seize an animal for no rabies, but we would have to make that a more consistent thing to where it's happening for every animal that we respond to, every animal we come into contact with. So I think it would probably be a good idea for me to get with maybe our organizations that help with our fix and rabies and see if we can come up with some kind of voucher program. Because we would be taking in a lot of dogs and then capacity would go up and we wouldn't be able to house as many as we would probably be looking at, sadly. So I think a voucher program may be good, and that may help with a lot of the issues we're having with animals too, because majority of them don't have rabies. Yeah, for the rabies, a voucher for them to get the shot.
Public service announcement,
Yeah.
TV, radio, so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Appreciate
That
the
way we can
update,
get that
appreciate
rolling.
us working on some communication problems. I think it'll make things better, and then maybe meanwhile, we could get some example ordinances on leash laws, and maybe sometime in the future, we can update a little bit, so.
Would it be okay for me to come by sometime and talk to you a little bit more about like animal control concerns and how to handle certain situations? Would you possibly have advice for that?
We could. Part of the issue kind of comes into legal advice, can be civil and criminal legal advice, and I'm not necessarily your civil legal advisor because you're
Okay.
on your board. I can give you my preference on how we do things, though. I would say if you're wanting to propose ordinances, getting copies of things that have worked in other places is a good place.
Okay.
Might work through you to be the magistrate that I work with on getting a proposed updated ordinance. Is that good?
Yeah.
It's helpful for me to have one of you all to kind of be the bill sponsor, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I'd be happy to talk to you, but just that.
Well, we do need a new one, clearly.
Yeah, just, or at least to update ours. I mean, how far you all want to go will be up to you all.
Okay.
Sorry I went down.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank y'all. All right, that it? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
Before we carry on, let's take a quick break, reconvene at 10:40.
Well, another thing is it still sort of focuses on, there was one word. Like,
All right, welcome back.
Utility line versus water line.
Next order is judges' announcements. We have several, so bear with me.
The body of it, he's actually the wall.
She may have had to leave. Judge. Did she have to leave?
April the 8th through May the 6th, FFA Greenhouse will be open at 2222 Bowling Green Road. They'll be open from April the 8th through May the 6th or until they sell out. Weekdays 8 to 3 and Saturdays 8 to 1. April the 28th is a tire recycle event, 8 to 10 at the Logan County Road Barn, 1088 Peyton Street, 12 tire limit in Logan County residents only. April 29th, the Logan County Clerk's office will be open from 9 to noon for vehicle business only. April the 28th, 11 a.m. at the Archives office, which is at 278 West 4th Street from 11 a.m. till whenever they run out, I assume, is the 3rd annual Keith Burnett Cookout fundraiser for Colonel Benjamin Logan Chapter Sons of the American Revolution. It's a sack lunch of pork chop sandwich, chips, and a drink for $7. May the 6th is going to be a busy day for our fire department support. Russellville Rural Fire Department annual fundraiser is 5 p.m. at the Logan County Extension Office. And the Adairville Fire Department will have their annual fundraiser also at 5:30 at the Adairville Fire Department. So we have two fundraisers, one for the Russellville Rural at the Extension Office, the other is for the Adairville Fire Department at the Adairville Fire Department.
Tell me the times.
Please, I encourage everyone to go out and support those.
Bill, just a second.
Tell me the times.
On the
Those, did you have that?
yes, I did. Russellville Rural is at 5 p.m. and Adairville is at 5:30. Russellville Rural is at the Logan County Extension Office, and the Adairville is at the Adairville Fire Department. They're on 431.
Thank you.
Okay, question.
Answer.
Full of them today, ain't you?
So, can we have a shared calendar that goes to our district thing, that tells us when all these things are?
Sure can.
Okay.
I don't know.
Scott will work on that right now.
We all
I saw the thumbs up,
try to attend those. I think it'd be good if we all just had like a shared calendar and then we could also see.
You know, and that's, I don't think that it'll be a Google style calendar, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can do that. We've got one that we're using in our office right now. And I know you guys don't have it, but it's been very helpful for us to keep everybody at track of who's here and where. And but yeah, that shouldn't be any problem at all. As a matter of fact, hopefully before long we'll be able to have a calendar we can share throughout the whole district. So we've got some stuff we're working on and to make everything better. The very last thing I have is May the 19th through the 20th is the 75th annual Adairville Strawberry Festival. That's, I think, all of the announcements I have. Remember the tire recycle event, April the 28th, Peyton Street out to the Logan County Road Barn, 12 tire limit and Logan County residents only. And the other last thing, just in case, is the clerk's office will be open for vehicle businesses only Saturday, April the 29th at 9:30 a.m. Correct? All right. We have no reports. So the next order of business is citizen participation. If anyone has anything, please come up to the podium, announce your name, and thank you.
I guess I'm the only one here, so good morning, Court.
Good morning, sir.
It's like all
Deja
old
vu.
time. It's all like, yeah, that's right.
Like old times.
That's right. I'm here today to somewhat set the record straight on some things that were said in the, I think it was March the 30th paper. But before I get started with that, I want to pass these out for people who don't know, who are new. Not to say you don't know, but I mean the ones that are new here. And it's about the canteen. Its statute is 441.135, and it clearly says the jailer may, not the county judge, not the fiscal court, not the treasurer. It's up to the jailer, and he may have a canteen.
Also known as commissary.
Commissary, yeah. It's called different things. First one I want to talk about, it was in the paper, the March 30th, 2024. And this is for you, Mr. Baker. From the contract, my understanding is that the county was owed a % of the commission from CPC, and we were not getting it. Did you read the contract before you made that statement?
I read parts of it.
No, did you read the whole contract?
And I told you I read parts of it.
Well, the first paragraph, did you read the first paragraph?
Obviously not.
You did not? Obviously you didn't, because you shouldn't make reckless statements like that. Let me read it for you. Combined Public Communications LLC with its principal place of business located and address and the Logan County Detention Center as the customer, okay, gets the premium, 65%, not the county. I'll pass that along. Hold on a second. And it mentions it in there, the customer is the one the contract is with, not the county. The county approved it. The county approves all contracts. But it's the customer, and the customer is the Logan County Detention Center, okay? You also said that you didn't receive any, right? That's what it says in the paper. Well, here's the proof that you did. This is the Logan County Fiscal Court Revenue Source Ledger from the Logan County Detention Center. This is from your treasurer. You did receive a commission, and you said you didn't. I'll pass that along. There's the contract. Clearly you didn't read it, or you didn't understand it.
In this contract, is there a percentage that comes to
Not to the county.
fiscal court, or just
The customer.
right?
And the customer spelled out in the first paragraph is the Logan County Detention Center, not the county.
When was this filed through the court?
It's dates on there.
Okay, I didn't see them.
2021.
2021, 2 years ago then.
It's renewed. It's got like an auto renew,
Okay,
and it goes back to 2018.
okay.
People need to be real careful what they say. Especially about me.
I don't believe your name was ever mentioned, Mr. Gregory.
Did you not say that in the paper? Or did the paper misquote you?
I don't think they ever misquote me because I never
Well, I
mentioned
was
your
the
name.
jailer during that time.
I never mentioned your name, sir.
It doesn't matter. Everybody
It
knows
says
who the
past
jailer was.
administration, never mentioned your name.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Obviously it does to one person.
So the,
You.
Phil, Mr. Gregory, I guess I took it the whole time that I got 3 explanations of this $128,000 money that Canyon, you know. I've had 3 explanations, and they really are, I shouldn't say irrelevant, because they are. The funds were always in the hands of the taxpayer. Okay, you know, whether it was sitting in the canteen account, whether it was sitting in the judge's general account, whether it was sitting here, there, or yonder. You know, when some people contacted me about that and was upset, like it was almost like a scandalous thing, I reassured them that that money was always in the taxpayer's account. It's 100% in our budget. So if anybody had the mindset that funds were misappropriated, that was 100% wrong. And I said that in court meeting. I said that when people contacted me directly, when you and I spoke. You know, I was like, hey, funds were never misappropriated. It's just a definition of where they are going to be held. And, you know, I would be honest with you, to this day, I don't have a clear formula of who, when, and how those funds are appropriated. You know, I'd have to sit down, and I'm a visual learner. I have to read that and start making my notes on paper, and then it's 7th grade math at that point, right? You know, it's pretty easy. But funds were always in the care and control of fiscal court.
Well,
that's what I really
in the canteen. In the canteen, the jailer controls it. The jailer. The statute's very clear.
But the jail budget is part of our budget, which is...
That's separate from the canteen.
The canteen is not in the jail budget.
No. That is separate from the jail budget.
So,
I mean, the county budget.
The county budget.
And
It's not on your budget at all. Or not on
No.
the jailer's budget. It's
No.
not on those funds are never on the jail.
They're to stay in the jail commissary. It is, the county cannot use the commissary money.
So like when we paid, I'm just going back to your administration, if I remember correctly, when we bought the body scanner, we paid for that out of canteen funds.
Yes, because I'm gonna get to that in a minute.
But just let me ask you, did you pay for that directly, or did you have to transfer those funds to the canteen?
No, we paid for it directly out of the canteen account.
Okay, I'm with you.
Is the canteen fund subject to the same auditing of the rest of the jail?
Yes, sir, they are, and I'm gonna get to that. The next thing I had was, and the jailer's not here, unfortunately, I had some questions for him. So let me just start anyway. Magistrate Thomas Bowden asked if CPC properly and fully paid the jailer for 2018 all the way to 2023, which, this is the quote from the paper, which Toomey instantly replied yes. He couldn't wait to say yes. Instantly replied yes. Well,
Uncover it, Mike, so people can hear.
I'm sorry. That's not true. And it is a misrepresentation of the facts. Now, here are the facts. That money was directly deposited into the Logan County Detention Center's account, banking account.
Is that what this is?
No.
No, that's not commission.
So, I never received any payment, check, or anything from CPC directly to me. That money was deposited in a check. Now, let me explain how we collected the money inside the jail. There was 5 people involved in that. 2 people collected the money inside the jail, and 2 more people verified, 2 different people verified their count. And then the 5th person took it to the bank. I never even took the deposit to the bank. And people feel big about taking deposits to the bank, not me. I just want to keep my hands off of the money. We never got written up for segregation of duties because we did it that way. Okay? But for someone to say that it was paid to me, the jailer, whether you say my name or not, I was the jailer. Everybody knows that. So, yeah. And this is what the auditor said. Keep in mind that that jail commissary, when I was the jailer, was audited every year by the Kentucky State Auditor's Office. This is what their comments were, because I asked the very last one that I had in 2022, what could we do with that money? Because we had a lot of money in there. Their response, Jail Commission Fund. The canteen operations are authorized pursuant KRS 441.135. The profits generated from the sales of items are to be used for the benefit and enhancement of the well-being of the inmates, or to enhance safety and security within the jail. Go back to the body scanner. The county cannot use this money to put in their general fund to operate the county. If the roof leaks at the jail, that's on the county. If the air conditioners go out, that's on the county. You can't use the commissary money to buy air conditioners and repair roofs.
But that doesn't include the commission money though, right?
The what?
The commission money, like that commission money can go into the general account, right? Or no?
Well, according to the contract, I had questions about that and discussing it with the auditor. Their reasoning was that you got that commission check every month, which someone said you didn't get any commission.
That's $2,000 a month, basically.
That's right, or more.
Yeah.
They said because of the machines, the kiosks and the other machines inside there, you got a direct payment because you own the building and the machines are bolted to the building. Okay?
At what
let me finish.
percentage? Okay, go ahead.
Anything bought online went to the commissary. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's all commissary money. But I didn't want to argue too much with the auditor. They wrote a good audit every year. We passed all of our audits. So I'm just saying.
I guess I'm just, that money though right there, which was turned over to the county, is that restricted or not, I guess is my question. And I don't know if anybody can answer it, but it's still a question we gotta answer.
When I asked Amanda about that, and I took it that was a discretion decision about how much, like you said, it is a gray, not restricted to commissary, and that decision could be made how much got turned around and given to the county from the CPC contract. That you had discretion on, applying it to the commissary or returning, like, I don't know that there's a rule that says X% of the commission shall be returned expeditiously. Is that correct? Is that the correct statement?
According to the auditors, and we live by the auditors.
That's what she said. The auditor said that was sort of a discretion decision by the jailer.
So it's like the auditor. I want to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's
right. I want to throw that in there because they're the ones that...
A bigger or smaller percentage of that money could have been returned back over.
Well,
so I think to answer his question, it's not so much restricted that it's not like selling cigarettes or other stuff to where it's returned to the commissary. This one's a little bit more unrestricted. Is that fair?
Somewhat. We never sold cigarettes.
Well, I'm sorry.
Candy bars. Let's say candy bars.
I'm just
noodles.
I'm just throwing something out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
I didn't mean that.
That's fine. But
So this was every single month?
yeah, the county got a commission every single month.
And this is from the machines that was bolted to the walls and the.
We got a summary of
There's a
it.
condition line item in the budget from the jail for
Yeah.
I think to answer your question, I think it's not 100% restricted to go to commissary. It sort of gives a little bit of leeway.
Well, I guess you could say they shared it with you, because, just like I said, the machines that are bolted to the inside of the jail, the county owns the building, okay? The county owns the building. I don't necessarily agree with that, because that's inmates' money that people, their families are putting on their accounts to make phone calls so they can have communication with their families and their loved ones. I just, you know.
I wanted to ask a question about the commissary or the canteen fund, I guess. Is there guidance on, I guess, the markup? I'm assuming there's a markup. I mean,
It's in the contract. It's in the contract, yeah.
I'm just talking about anything that you sell that's sold in the I mean, other things are sold at the canteen besides communication, right?
Yeah.
There's a separate contract for that.
Socks.
There's a separate contract.
Okay, so that's
And
like
we see the
service.
line items and we see the profit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just hadn't seen that yet. Okay. I just sort of curious
Yeah.
to how the guidance on
And I understand that you're new to this, I just feel like that some quotes was misrepresenting the facts. And, you know, it appears that I'm disappointed that the jailer's not here to answer these questions.
He had an emergency, he had to leave. One of his deputies
Yeah, well,
was injured.
Anyway, so back to the audit. Here are the audits. If anybody wants to see them, if you don't, there are a lot of them.
I've seen several of them. They were all right.
They were all good, right? All right, I just want to make sure we get that out there. But it seems like I don't know why all this was misrepresented. I mean, it's like a witch hunt, and it's done blown up in their face. So I think that's all I have, and I hate that the jailer wasn't here for me to ask him questions. And to be quite honest, I feel slandered by the jailer for misrepresenting the facts.
Well, it's good to see you again, Phil. Thanks for the clarification.
You know, Tyler, it's, I almost said when I came up here, it's like old times. We're up here arguing.
But you know what? When we get done, we go and shake hands and say, how you doing? So
I just wanted to set the record straight. And
Well, I can't speak for the jailer, he needs to speak for himself.
That's
but
right.
I hope you understand the court, at least that court meeting interpretation that we had, and I didn't read the paper, so I don't know what was quoted there, but, you know, I think we only discussed here and assured everybody, regardless of where the funds were, they were always in the care and control of this court. There was never any misappropriation of funds, unaccountable, and that's what I asked Amanda over and over again. You know, the funds have always been there, just sitting there or sitting here.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's
You know,
right.
So, and I think it was even mentioned that our audits were always clear from the jail. So
Yeah.
I don't think anybody from court was slandering you. Now, you know, if you could feel like Toomey was, then you'll need to speak to him about that. I'm not.
And I was going to do that if he was here, but he's not here. And but I just wanted to
Well,
clear.
if the paper needs to make a retraction,
Well, I mean, the whole article is slandering me as if I mishandled the money. Me and my administration. And I'm going to tell you something. Every auditor that came in our jail and audited us said that they wished all jails were as efficient in record keeping as what we were. And I didn't keep the records. I just oversaw the records. But my administrative assistant and others who worked there under my administration, I give them high praise because they did an excellent job. There was never a hiccup, whether it be a jail inspection or what. So I got high praise for my previous administration, who's no longer there. But That's all I got. Anybody else want to talk about anything while I'm here so I can
How's the
talk to
fishing?
my face instead of behind my back?
How's the fishing?
What's that?
The fishing.
Fishing, good days, bad days. Some days they're biting, some days they're not. But anyway, I want to thank the court for the time.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
And good seeing you all.
Clarifying and good to see you, Phil.
Thank you, Mr. Gregory. Next up, any more citizens' participation? If not, let's move on to old business. We've got a couple items to discuss on old business. Previously, we discussed the HVAC bids for the detention center for the 23-24 year, and it was left up to the court that Jailer Toomey and myself would discuss this. What we have decided to do is rebid it with a more accurate bid specifications. So with the pleasure of the court, I would like the opportunity to rebid that.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. The next item up for bid, I'm selling stuff today. Next item up for bid. Auction and all. Our next one is our, discuss the service agreement between GUTS, or Governmental Utility Technology Services, and the Logan County Clerk. Stacy, would you like to fill us in on what's going on there?
Well, I went back and asked them, they are unwilling to change the wording of 10.3 to take out the Indiana language verbiage. They were willing to take out Boone County, but that's as far as they would go for me. And I think I don't have a lot of leverage because two parts of this puzzle has already signed their contracts, and I'm the last part. So the PDA had already signed and the sheriff had already signed, and they're not going to work with me on getting the Indiana language out.
We talked about it last week, and my thought would be to the court, at this point, I think as far into the year as she is, we probably need to go ahead and accept this with the understanding that I'll write them a letter telling them if they're unwilling to do this, that this will be our last year accepting our service for all three of them. Stacy did indicate that this is the primary provider for 85 of the counties, and they said if it's in there for the rest of them, that should be good enough for Logan County. I would disagree with that. I think if you come to this state and you want to be a contractor, you should be willing to be governed by our laws. I think additionally there's question about even the legality of that, but for the sake of giving Stacy time to find a new bidder, and maybe that letter, which I also intend to copy the Department of Revenue on so we can maybe get some help from them, might shake the tree a little bit. And I am the vice president of the County Attorneys Association, so I might let that organization be known so that my fellow county attorneys can look at it. It might be that by taking this route, we might get the recourse we want even within this contract, because I think right now you're more dealing with a sales person rather than anything else. But I mean, even if it was in Jefferson County was our venue, that would at least give me the opportunity to go represent you all and provide legal advice. But I think with the situation, she does need that contract, and I would recommend that we handle it that way, though I hope it's clear I'm not a fan of it, but I also don't see a whole lot of recourse for the next year.
Sounds good.
So basically, we just need a motion to go ahead and approve this contract.
Did we approve the contract pending?
We approved it pending.
Contingent.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Pending the language change, but I guess we just need to go ahead and reapprove that the language was not changed, or at least put it on record that the language was not. Right.
I would say just approve that section with the understanding that I'm going to communicate your displeasure to the vendor and put them on notice that we won't intend to accept it for any of the following years unless they change that.
Wording is what was the problem.
Make a motion to approve the service agreement between Governmental Utilities Technology Services and Logan County Clerk for this next, I guess, year. And then Joe is going to work on what we're going to be doing in the future.
Writing a nasty letter.
Writing a nasty letter.
Hey, all you gotta do is just have the other 85%, because I guarantee it's just.
They probably don't know it.
Yeah.
They probably just didn't see it.
I mean, I'm surprised he caught something
Let
that.
everybody send a letter and say, hey, we are last year, unless you were willing to change that.
I would like to involve Tim Rainwaters in it too, just
Yeah,
whenever,
right.
if we can start CCing him as well.
We got
Perfect.
Sheriff.
Thank you.
And I'll say with these, you know, these contracts are fine with these people as long as everything's good, but the times that it becomes a problem is when it is a problem. You never know when that's going to happen, and they can really cause you trouble. So though we don't typically have to go to court, there have been situations where it was at least threatened and discussed in the past, so.
Second that motion.
Okay, if I have a second on the motion, do we have any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. All right, our next order, Stacy, you might as well stay up there.
Okay.
Just another question on this. Did you ever make the decision about the pressure washing?
No, I haven't. Actually, we've had the jail inmates up here doing some pressure washing, and they've been doing a pretty decent job. They actually done one whole wall that was in the wall that was the questionable. And no, I have not. I've had a lot going on, and you know, it's just been one of those things that's been put in the back of my mind.
Just let the inmates keep doing it.
That's actually what I was thinking, of letting them hit the flat areas and seeing what it is, and then coming back if we need to, and maybe checking with you guys and see if we can do something later. But as long as they're doing that, I'm not gonna press it too hard. There's some areas that need attention, and I would like to have it done before summer.
Good
But
job for them to do.
oh, it's awesome. They're doing a great job. I'll tell you, they're doing a wonderful job.
Save that money.
Well, that's the other reason. I mean, it's a lot of taxpayers' money on something that's going to definitely look better. But if we have people willing to do it, and why spend the money?
Let's do it.
So yes, I have been kind of lacking off, but also knew there was a pressure washer out there. They were doing the sheriff's building this past week, and they started making their way up.
Just ask in case my constituent asks me an update.
No, I think I appreciate you asking, and I want you to hold me accountable for it at every given chance. If there's no other old business, let's move on to new business. That's first order is approve the county clerk's claim for calculation of motor vehicle and boat bills for 2023.
I think y'all have that on your iPads, maybe, hopefully. Yeah.
Item number 6.
Did anything change?
More.
It's more?
More of them. More vehicles, not the money didn't.
Oh, the money didn't go up.
No, the money didn't go up. We just have a whole lot more vehicles in the county now than we have. Yeah, it's always good. We're growing.
I'll make a motion to approve the county clerk's claim for calculation of motor vehicles and boats for 23.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do I have any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Just I'm sorry.
Yeah,
If I can ask for dummies, just what exactly are we? There's 40,271 vehicles.
Cards that went out
Cards,
to
okay.
remind people of their motor vehicle and boat taxes, trailer taxes. Those cards you get in the mail.
Is this just reimbursing you to pay for the notice? Okay.
That's how much they get paid to process and print those.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, guys.
I'm not quite sure.
I'll tell you, I know last meeting we complained about how cold it was. This meeting, it's really cold in here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give me a little heater to go up here and build me a fire. Do we want to go ahead and, before we get into the health insurance renewal, do we want to go ahead and, we've got some people here for some bid openings. Do we want to go ahead and get that out of the way? If that's okay, we'll go ahead and do that. We've got 3 orders. So we'll skip to item number 4, which is open bids for Mott's Lick Creek Stabilization Project. We only had 1 bid for that.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Still morning, right? Yes, good morning.
haven't heard that fire alarm go off yet. I get real nervous when I hear that.
Our one bid is from Hinkle Environmental Services for a total cost of $124,140.
Is that dude back there?
What?
Yes, one bid.
The Hinkle guy back there?
At this current moment, everything seems to be there.
I get from the,
Look at this, but I don't think I know.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Okay, I was just saying.
how much do we have budgeted?
Right, so how that will work now is you have spent all of your agreement that you have now. You owe a little bit more to the person the Horner, the service that did the debris removal. So we will amend the contract. We will include the difference of his bill and your agreement from the debris removal. We will extend the contract to September 28th at the same time, and then we will also request the money for the rail wall project. And we'll do all that in one amendment.
Oh, good.
So,
What's your confidence level that they'll accept this?
it'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I can't say
I
definitively.
know you can't personally speak,
right,
but
right.
an educated,
I mean, they all
yes.
know what's coming.
Right.
We requested money up front for all of these projects early on. As soon as the first bid started coming in, we received they were going over. So Kentucky, the money is in Kentucky. We just have to go through the paperwork to do it.
Be contingent upon receiving the funds.
I think that's a good
Yeah.
way to word
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And where would the funds be from? State?
it'd be from
Somebody you're familiar with, this company?
I am not. I'm gonna write their name down, and I will need a but I will talk to you. I'll get a copy of the bid. I'll need a letter requesting to extend that contract until the end of the fiscal year,
right.
our fiscal year. And like I said, that'll all go in at once. I'll do all that paperwork for you. I'll just send it for signature.
And Tyler was asking where the money actually came from.
So it's actually federal funds,
Federal.
Well, what's the name of the?
USDA,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, NRCS.
Right.
And then the program is EWP, because we have all acronyms. We just we just speak in letters.
Y'all got a staff member that just handles acronyms.
So it's 100% paid for.
Federal.
It is
And that's the only
100%,
way that they
yes.
can speak is in acronyms.
Is this based off the same engineering stuff as?
That looks like they typed it onto our form, so yeah, that does look like.
Yeah, I'm
our
saying
form.
nothing changed from that meeting we had a long time ago
No.
and had no bidders. We'd had.
Correct.
Okay, so this is all the
Yeah.
same design.
Scope of work is it, yeah, they didn't
Yes.
change.
Are
the
you
name.
representing Hinkle? Yes, sir. Okay. You got any comments or anything that you want to add? I mean.
As far as I know, yeah, all the documents are what
Okay.
the county sent us from NRCS, and that's the NRCS bid sheet.
And what's the time frame?
Right now, you go until June 10th, but anticipating weather and any changes, that's part of the amendment that request money will be to extend that until September 28th.
Right.
Did you get all that wrote down so you can make a motion? And I
If
can
you want me
second
to.
it?
So you get it worded just right. Dependent on.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the bid for the Lick Creek Stabilization Project, to accept the bid from Hinkle for $124,140 contingent upon receiving funds through a grant from USDA, NRCS, EWP. Is that right?
LOL.
Yeah,
LOL.
yeah.
Second.
BRB. Oh, yeah.
No BRB. We're still here. We're still SH. Okay. If there's no other discussion or acronyms, let's have roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Thank you guys very much.
The anticipated completion would be,
It'll depend on when your contractor moves in. Yeah.
He might be able to tell you a little bit more about how long the project would take. I just do paperwork.
Do you have any feedback on like when you anticipate starting and how long the time is?
Depending on when you all tell us we can start. You start whenever their money comes.
It'll take probably a couple weeks.
Okay.
I think we could be in and out in, as long as the weather cooperates, probably a week.
So maybe you don't want to ask for the extension if you think it'll happen that fast.
I think it's all contingency on weather, though.
The extension approvals are pretty quick, but every time we do an amendment to the contract, there's 2 more forms to sign, and usually really that's where the delay is the emailing back and forth. And so
Does it hurt to do the extension?
it does not hurt, especially not doing it at the same time as everything else.
If there was a roadblock and then
Yeah.
we missed it, I would rather do the extension just as an automatic.
Yeah, because I have already,
Do it all at once.
I have several of these contracts that are up for expiration at the same time as y'all, June 10th and 11th. And I will start on May 1st, reaching out to all of those other sponsors to say, hey, get me your extension request. Because I like to get those at least 30 days in advance. So.
Perfect.
All right.
Any other questions?
No, it's great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You guys holler at me.
Okay.
Next, we'll go to item number 5, which is open bids for emergency medical service for fiscal year 23-24. We only have one bid, and that is from ComCare, which is our existing.
Ain't nobody else bid on that? God.
So we're just gonna take it out and let it
We're gonna have to get an ambulance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here you go. My
Ain't got no
apologies. My
competition,
apologies.
man.
Telling you what.
Okay, everyone should be able to have their own copy.
Look at your neighbors. You think.
Welcome
you
back,
do it any
John.
better.
Would you like to speak on?
Certainly. This is, of course, this is our 14th year. And this bid proposal is essentially the same. The substantive changes would be that we mentioned Med 7 in the truck replacement section, just because that's the truck we've been discussing. And then as well, there's a 6% increase to cover cost of living to the subsidy. But otherwise, it's the same proposal.
The same, but a bunch of different stuff. Is that what
Well,
you're
and
saying?
the dates and things, you know.
People really listen to what you say.
Most importantly, the price is the same.
6% increase to cover. I covered, yeah, as we were discussing, but
6% increase?
yeah, that's pretty. Listen, that's really reasonable.
How much of that are you getting?
12%.
That none. That's how much I'm getting.
That's just 12%.
Well, that's the ownership portions there. That's different. Yeah.
He's getting 12% of 6%.
Not quite.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'll keep you there. I'm over here.
Is
Oh,
that Miss
trust me, I don't
Adams?
It is. That is Miss
I don't
Cynthia
think
Adams
we've-
right there.
I don't think I've ever.
Have you
I
not?
don't
She's
think
a
so.
wonderful person. Let me bring her up and introduce you. This is Miss Cynthia Adams.
Yeah.
Good morning,
Yeah,
Miss.
Yeah.
Jim always, he's
That,
come
yep,
the past few
yep.
years.
Jim regrets he couldn't make it, but sends his best.
We're glad she's here instead.
Me too. Me too. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, buddy.
You too.
Well, we appreciate the work that y'all have done for us, and nothing but praises for y'all.
All kidding aside, this is our 14th year, and we really do appreciate the relationship we have with this court. It's been fantastic.
You don't always get this response.
Sometimes things are more challenging than others, but we appreciate the relationship we
Well,
have
your
with this court. for sure.
appreciation is welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Make a motion to accept ComCare's bid for emergency services, annual contract of $216,516 payable in 12 monthly payments of $18,043 per month.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Do you all serve other communities?
We do. We are in 5 counties currently, including Logan, Todd, Caldwell, Crittenden, and Ohio.
All right, if there's no further discussion, Let's have roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. And John, I appreciate you and every one of you guys that are out there working as hard as you do. I can't say enough thank yous.
I appreciate it. No, thank you all, and we're honored to serve this community.
Thank you for the heads up
Yes, ma'am.
about what I asked last time.
Absolutely.
Now I've got an answer to those
That's it.
Auburn people.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
And if anything else comes up, you just give me a shout.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Okay, before we continue, I just got a note that one of my announcements, which was the Keith Burnett Cookout fundraiser that was scheduled for this Friday, has been moved to May the 4th. Same time, same place, just at a different date, and it's 11 a.m. at the Archives Building. All right, moving on. Item number 6, open bids for the construction of the coroner's office. Once again, I don't see anybody else, so we received one bid, and that is from CNC Contracting.
No, we didn't do that. Bridge on Newtown Road.
We're just gonna forget it.
No, we ain't. Sure, watch your.
So are we holding on that?
We're just coming back to it.
Coming back.
We're just
I was gonna say, I was wondering why.
Jason Harper likes to suck up all the bridge money. And don't
Is this a competition, that sounds like?
They don't ever give me no bridge money, and I finally might get some bridge money.
Don't count your eggs before they hatch. We still got a
It's already down one constituent, so.
Yeah. She was gonna vote no with me. I lost her.
So funny. Are these new bridges or repair bridges?
New bridge.
It's just a box covered it.
That's the
That's the
It's not a big bridge, not a.
I don't know how big that was. What was the
How big
measurement?
was
Looks like it's 19 foot wide.
18 foot. Or no, 18, what is it, like 18 inch wide?
Wow.
What
One bid from
Newtown.
CNC Contracting for a total of $827,400.
827.
$827, and all their bid documents and bonding seems to be
No.
827,400.
No.
$827,400.
because of all the different
Would you like to pass that
You
around?
wanna,
facilities in
we
it?
wanna just acknowledge receipt of it, or do we wanna just say table it, or we wanna reject it?
I would acknowledge the receipt of it and let the committee look at, and Stephanie needs to look at it and all the folks, and then the court needs to digest what they want to do.
Tell me who the committee is again. Me and you, Thomas,
And the judge.
and the judge. And what, okay.
Is that just for that project, or is that for, he was asking earlier about other committees we were talking about?
Any building project.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, you talking about this bid or the?
No,
the building.
Building.
I didn't know if there had just been a committee put together just for discussion of the coroner's office, or whether that was any property stuff.
Any project.
Okay.
And what's that committee called? Okay.
Because we were talking about, I'm on the committee, I think, that does like bonding stuff.
For public property.
Yeah, public properties or something like that. But,
Yeah, I think we need to acknowledge it and then put it on to a committee meeting where we can.
Is that your motion?
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to
Just not
second.
accepting it, not.
Just acknowledging the bid and then letting the
Give a
property
recommendation.
committee bring a recommendation back to court after we've met with the judge.
Correct. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Okay. We'll go back up to item number 2, which is discuss the health insurance renewal for fiscal year 23-24.
So Judge, on that, unless you get something that I don't know about, being we have another insurance committee meeting scheduled for Wednesday, is that right?
Wednesday, it's, I've got it on,
9 o'clock?
I think it's 9 or 9:30, and I apologize.
So, we're still waiting on information. Typically, Anthem or any health insurance provider, a minimum of 30 days before renewal, sends that out. Well, because of county governments and the way budgets work, we always request that sooner, so we have time to work that through our budget. And they have sent us something, but it's just unfavorable news, as it is always, and we try to go back to them and negotiate and, explain some of our major losses and whether we have those behind us or we still have some looking forward. So Kelly, on our behalf, is in the midst of doing that and requesting for some reconsiderations. And I don't think he had that data back or was getting it back today. And so we're going to have a meeting on Wednesday.
It's actually Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes, sir.
This coming Thursday.
This Thursday. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So,
So what are we gonna?
we'll just table that
Table.
motion, or table any action on that until next court meeting.
So,
Well, you don't need a
We don't need a
motion, I mean, we're just, he had it on the agenda, I'm just
Okay.
explaining
Gotcha.
why there's no action.
That's okay, then we'll just table it, bid.
Okay.
Do we need a, we don't need a motion.
No, you don't need a
I
motion.
think
to
so,
vote.
not on the table.
just as discussed, so.
Do we have any other discussion on that? Okay. If not, we'll move on to item number 3, which is approved to advertise bids for the construction of a new bridge on Newtown Road.
So there has been a water ford, or whatever you call it, on Newtown Road for many, 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 many years. Water just, that's just the way the water goes, right over County Road. So we are wanting to use the remainder of this year's bridge money to redirect that water under a bridge. So if the court would approve it, we're to put it out for bid.
Right now, it's going over the road.
Yep.
I've got one like that.
Continuously. Well, I mean,
rain events or just
raining events, and it stays there a while.
Well, we've got one that goes over it 100% of the time, except when it's dry.
On County Road?
Sycamore Duncan, yes, sir. And I keep asking people, upset your number? I said, okay. No point in me.
They like it.
I've got 6 of
It
them.
runs right over it.
I've got 6.
All this.
5 or
Six, something like
6 of
that.
them.
I asked the people right around there, I said, it's
Okay.
right over.
Yeah.
And when it floods, they can't drive there. They have to
I
go
don't
the
want
other
you to
way.
read through that.
But if they don't, I'm not gonna advocate for the road department to come in there if they're happy with
The
it.
bus goes down there.
Well,
So I'm,
is it a one-lane road? Is it
No.
in and out? Does it have to?
they've
Was
done
this
business back there.
design based
And-
on?
But
But I mean, is it a
there's
dead
all-
end?
No,
So
it
like,
goes around and hits another road on
a
the
driveway
side.
right after the
Don't matter what
bridge,
they
there's
are.
a lot of
I mean, it does, but what I'm
drainage
saying is,
issues.
Because they kept saying
related
no.
well, I mean, this
that
is the year 2023. We don't drive through water. You know
You
what I
know,
mean?
fix
Like, I'm trying to get all of them taken care of.
Well,
On
if
next
it freezes, I mean, you're gonna. have
On
to
heavy
have-
rains, it makes it very, almost impassable,
That
and on a
I
heavy,
mean,
heavy
like
rain.
today,
So
I
just
need to
like-
advocate whether
This
they want it or
recommended
not.
structures
Well, I
based
mean,
on.
yeah, because I mean that we got to improve our road system.
We had-
continually.
Kelly's been
Well, it's a
working,
concrete
or
bridge.
Kelly's been working with some engineers on it.
Yeah, it's just a water.
So,
Well, I mean, I saw they just recommended the standard.
Thank you for telling me
State
that, because
structure.
I thought.
but we have
I
to,
did talk to
Whatever
people,
Kelly-
and I thought,
whatever Kelly
well,
generally
but
does.
People just don't like change.
they don't want people coming
Thomas,
in.
I
50 years and I'm bothering.
Kelly was.
Other than the
Okay, so I
price.
need to probably get that on the camera.
Thomas,
Okay,
I want to see a copy of that.
just goes to show I have a lot of feelings.
So what's a highway? You know,
Where that money comes from,
so it's 18 foot wide and
we're fussing about it. changing
Yeah, I
$2
saw the 18
on
foot
the side.
is it a 12-inch well? Is that what that's? It's sort of faded out there.
I hope the Does somebody not have a paper copy that looks better than this?
Here you go.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't look any better,
Oh,
but there you
okay.
go. That's what I have.
I'll let y'all look at that. That's-
That is what is provided to me.
Who did this? Huh? I mean, did no road?
Dude, Kelly had.
I had Kelly
met
work
with
on
him
that.
years
Okay.
To get it all spec'd.
That's funny, it's got snooze on it.
Oh, Sky Murphy.
That's Stephanie, the JKS
Okay.
Architects, I'm
Okay.
sorry. She's representing the JKS, and that's the reason I said get a copy of the bid and everything with her. Just like,
Steph, you know anything about the building?
you know, everything about it.
Hey, did it call for a sprinkler system? It just says there's a line here for sprinkler system, but it says NA, so I just,
We did, fire rated corridors, so we did not need to.
okay. I didn't know if that NA meant they just didn't offer a price on it, or whether it didn't call for one.
I don't know specifics about the specs. Kelly did that. You know, I'm not a bridge guy, so.
Kelly was working with Scotty's on getting the specs
This
set.
looks like my bridge. Did I do that?
Well, I would make for certain, it says the exterior walls could be 12 to 18 inches. I would make sure they're 18 inches.
I guess my question is, how high is it elevated? Like, what's the distance from the bottom of the bridge to the bottom of the creek?
18 inches.
It's 18 inches?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do that for nothing.
What would you,
Absolutely nothing. There's no way I'd do that.
what would you do?
I mean, you're just creating a dam. 18 inches would get clogged up so quick and make your head spin.
Yeah, so he's
There's
got,
quite a bit of water goes through that, right, Tyler? There's quite a bit of water goes through. I mean, that thing wouldn't 3 foot up off the bottom of that. I wouldn't fool with it. Because you'll be down there, the county road department will be down there every rain clearing it out. And the people who are uphill of that stream, you know, if there are people uphill that stream, they're fixing to get a bunch of, they had a little water now, they're gonna have a bunch of water later.
Is this the
18 inches
same
ain't
type of
nothing.
structure that got put over Campground Road? Was it a
That's-
box open structure?
yeah, with wing walls, it has.
But surely it was more than 18 inches up off the ground.
It's not very high off the ground on Campground, but they don't get in. Now granted, it's a very event-driven stream. It does not have continuous flow, but it doesn't have,
And that's kind of the way it is.
it doesn't have an issue there. Now, it could be culverts underneath there for all I know. I've never seen what the ends of it look
It
like.
just don't seem like, but maybe it don't.
Well, I think
get that much
18
water.
inches, then you've got 96 inches wide, so that's gonna account for that too.
Yeah, but it don't take but one log. You know
Well,
what I'm
you're
saying?
absolutely
One-
right.
One
Big.
tree log floating down through
I
there.
can't rate them.
I mean,
It's not,
there's probably, you go down there,
it's not that kind of stream where it's gonna be a log.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen.
Maybe a limb, not a log.
I mean, regardless, I'm not out there every time it rains, but I don't think that's ever really been an issue.
Well, what it really amounts to, but you're talking about, it's not a log, you're talking about the continuous buildup of trash,
Well, it takes one log
leaves
to
and
start.
rubbish, and after a while, you've got this.
well, the trees and leaves and, you know, small items like that will naturally wash out. But once one log gets jammed there.
Well, that's what I meant.
Then
Once
it
you've
starts
got something like
corrupting.
that, then it backs up.
So, Thomas, I'm not discrediting this guy at all, because this is what they do, and I don't do this for a living. But I don't know that the county in the future don't need to hire an independent engineer to come out, because this is Scott Murphy's. He just drew up what he would do.
Okay.
So, you know, like, we get JKS to tell us what we need to do on the property, and we pay them to, you know, to tell us their expert opinion. I think we need to get an independent engineer, because, like, the bridge on Campground Road, is not straight with the road. You've noticed that.
Right, well, because it sort of sits on a
weird.
curve too, yeah.
A little rough, kind of weird, so I mean.
Why
I'm
did
not-
they do that?
Well, I don't know. And like like I've had a couple bridges put in, and like when it's all said and done, you look at it and you're like, I think I'd have done something different. Like, you know.
Does the state not come, would they not?
Well,
help
this
on
this
that?
has to be turned into and approved by the state.
Yeah, and
I mean, you know, I took it to Kelly, and Kelly, this is basically the way Kelly told me we needed to do this. So
Right.
with him being the road foreman, I kind of have put my trust in him, might I say.
But this is the guy. One of the bidders is the one that engineered it and drew it up, right?
True.
And they hadn't even done the last 3 bridges. Another company has done them. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out.
But I mean, whenever they did some of our previous, whenever Kelly got specs for the previous bridges, did he not do the same process?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Did he?
So he
This
did the
is
same
what he.
thing when we gave somebody else the bid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
this is no different than what we've done.
if I'm not mistaken, and I hate Kelly's not here, but they're shorthanded. They're out trying to catch up on stuff, doing their job, and I'm very appreciative of that. But I'm from my understanding, they have used this for a while now, and it's worked. And you know, not to say it's going to work this time, but.
Yeah, I don't want to hold the process up. I want to open it up for bid, but are we going to do it based off of these specs that we can't read and we have questions about?
So, I mean, I'm not a bridge engineer, so, you know, I know we've got water going across the road, and I requested to use some bridge money, and we just did the process that I thought that we generally do, which is Kelly gets with whoever he gets with and gets the specs and put out the bid. So,
And that's been my full understanding
money has
from
to be
day
spent
one.
before
Right.
June 30th.
Or earmarked.
Or, yes, yes.
Because we had a little money left over.
Yeah, we have the money from the state for the bridge.
What if we authorize for design build bids for the construction of a new bridge on Newtown Road? Therefore, you're gonna get plans that have a stamp and seal on them, so they've been designed by somebody that should have the expertise to it.
Right.
So at least you have some comfort that you know it's been properly done. And whether Scott and Murphy or whoever hires it, they're offering a proposal to the solution, but then they're giving you the price for the construction as well.
But then you can't compare apples to apples on different bids. Are you saying like 2 companies might bid totally different designs?
I don't think we can change the process today on how we've been doing bridges. I think, you know, maybe we can look at it in the future. I just think we need to.
Go to page 2 real quick. I think what they're doing
I want to try to get this bridge approved just like y'all got y'all's bridges approved.
I think it's 4 foot
Mine
tall.
just stalled.
See, he circled this one. I think it's 4
County
foot
road
tall.
department don't ever go down there and clean my bridge out.
Well,
Y'all
I
ever
think the
clean that
problem,
one
I think the
out?
problem is if we raise that,
County road department went out there.
if we raise this, we're gonna be building up really high. I mean, you know, and that they're trying to keep as minimum of a rise as possible.
Right.
But, I mean, you know, and I understand your concern about the limbs and such attracting, and I agree with you, but it really hasn't been an issue. I don't think it's going to be an issue on this one due to the way that's laid out, from what I've seen. Now, somewhere down in Jason's territory, I would be 100% concerned about that. But this particular location, the 18-inch does not concern me.
Well, I don't think
maintained yards and houses on both sides.
I don't think it's 18-inch. I think it's 4 foot now since I'm actually figuring it out. Put it in the motion. I mean, we're going to do it.
We're just putting it out for bid, right?
Yeah.
Make a motion to put out for bid, approved advertise for bids for construction of new bridge on Newtown Road.
Second. The only reason I said that is because my bridge that we just done, they spent a bunch of money on, we did the same format, which is fine. But the winning bidder, when he got down there, he said, you know, I would have done something that's different. And I mean, that's always gonna be how it is. if
And
the
it might be
person-
something we look.
That's where you get into what Chris is saying, design build.
Right.
Official, because they go down there and, I'm on, what we're doing, if you're building it like this, period. They go down there and look at it and say, oh man, you need to turn this, or you need to make it 3 inches wide, or whatever. But I think maybe this bridge is not that critical,
Well,
so we just.
and I think
no, it's critical.
I think it's critical. I think we need to look at doing that with the next round of money we get for bridges, but I don't think we have time to reinvent the wheel right now.
What I can do is I'll get with Chris on this, and we'll kind of sit down and talk to Kelly and kind of get a better understanding of what we need to do in the future to make this. I like the design build, but the only problem I got with the design build is you end up with apples versus oranges, and I just don't want the same person to do it just because they might be cheaper, And I also agree with what Jason's saying about having a engineer actually engineer it, then you've got a specific set.
Well,
I
are these
think that'd be
bridges,
just
are, I
frugal
mean,
to
I don't
do
know,
everything.
are all bridges subject to annual inspections?
Wouldn't it?
And does this constitute as a bridge?
So the state has and I don't know what it is, but the state has a guideline based on size, span, and traffic flow of how often they get inspected.
And the only reason I say that is like if it warrants that it has to be inspected, I sort of think it warrants that it needs to have somebody's stamp on it.
If they do, when they do that, they get submitted to the state for their approval.
The state's not just gonna give us the money on that. It's gonna have to have some type of stamp on it.
That's why, I guess that's where I was wondering, like, where's that coming from?
The winner of the contract will submit that to the judge's office and goes to the state, and it gets, at least the ones that I've.
So you're saying when they turn a bid in, they're basically turning in their plans per se?
Yeah, it's just like the flex road's gotta be approved by the state.
How that got handled.
Correct.
And I think it's done in the Bowling Green office.
Because I guess I was sitting there thinking, is this what we're giving them? Then I'm thinking, there's no.
You pull that one that Jason just did up.
Agree.
Check me, I could be wrong, but I know when I did a couple of box culverts, and that's been a long time ago, they were approved. And, Terry Creighton did mine, and he had to get them approved by the state, somebody.
Well, as long as somebody's doing that. So I was looking at this, I thought, well, that's just like, hey, we just call
I think
utility
it's just
precast and say we won't.
Standard spec sheet you give to people that are bidding on it.
Roll call.
We've already done.
Oh, that was my apologies. It's been forever.
We
I
haven't
didn't know
voted.
where we were.
We haven't
I'm
voted.
thinking about lunch, I guess. All right, any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Judge, can we go back to health
Yes,
insurance?
that's exactly what I was
Okay,
gonna say.
so, one thing we do have to do in this meeting is there is 6 different motions that we need to talk about and get approved for health insurance. And to make, so people can do open enrollment when that time comes. They're not driven by how much we are paying. But like first motion is just simply stating that we're gonna offer health insurance to full-time employees. Second motion is, we're gonna use McGregor to do our FSA. And these are all coming recommendations from the Health Insurance Committee. So I'm Jason and I are fixing to roll 6 of these off, and I'll just do them one at a time, and y'all ask your questions, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so motion number 1 is I want to make a motion to continue to offer employee health insurance through a particular self-insured health plan using Anthem for administrative services and reinsurance, to contract with Capstone to provide the benefits administration services to include enrollment and centralized billing, to contract with Pill and Holland to provide data analytics for claims incurred and paid through Anthem. The plan will be funded at a max claims level, and the health reimbursement arrangement HRA at 100% utilization for fiscal year 2023-2024. The HRA will remain at $2,000 annually for employee only and $4,000 annually for employee and dependents.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
Any questions, or you want to read
I'll just
Well, I'd
that?
have to see.
I'll just make a
Doesn't
comment.
get this here all the
2,000 for a single and 4,000 for a family, that's some good, compared to other place of employment, that's very good.
Kelly, who represents not only a lot of people surrounding us, but also is, because he's with CAECO, or Pell and Hall, who, represents probably 90% of all county and cities, tells us every year and reaffirmed it this year that nobody has a plan as good as ours.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I did want to mention that those are the exact same motions we read last year.
Correct. Nothing's changed. We just can't tell you today how much that's going to be. That's what you'll get next week.
Okay, I was gonna say.
This is
then
just
what's-
allowing us to do it
Okay.
and who we're going to use.
Are you looking at someone else?
Jason,
Oh, no,
C&C bid number.
we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on part one of Thomas's motion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes?
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
That's a scary thing.
Yeah. Judge, my next motion is I'd like to make a motion to enter into a contract with McGregor and Associates for FSA services at $4.25 per month per employee with a $100 annual renew fee, and HRA services at $6.50 per employee per month with another $100 annual renew fee for fiscal year 2023-2024.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Those fees for participants only.
That's correct. Well, you're, which is going to be everybody. You either are in FSA or you have HRA. We do our $2,000 and $4,000 deductibles through HRA. So you're going to have one or the other, even if you don't opt into health insurance.
Okay, I've got a motion and I have a second. If no other discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes?
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Part three, please.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to offer employees waiving health insurance $400 per month in taxable income, which can be either added to the employee's bi-weekly payroll, be used for FSA funds up to $3,050, and additional county-offered employee benefits and/or contributions of the options mentioned above, effective July 1, 2023. Employees must provide proof of other health insurance to elect this option.
Second.
Did you say 400
Yes.
a month?
Yes. Okay.
So
That is up $50 from last year.
I was gonna say, let me back up. That's the only thing that changed.
And what the IRS sets what the max contribution can be. So this year, it used to be $2,700, and now it's gone to $3,050.
And these are the ones who opted not to take it.
Right. If you don't, but the only way you can take this option is you prove you have health insurance coverage elsewhere.
Correct.
You can't take this option.
Do you have health insurance
You don't
here?
have that.
No.
That would be.
So you're gonna start getting 400 instead of 30, 50.
So
Yeah.
not
All right.
elected.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Is there any other discussion on this? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Mr. Bolden, part 4.
Okay, I make a
Jason.
motion. I make a motion to offer employer-paid Anthem Vision insurance to employees who elected county-provided health insurance at the same level of coverage as they receive in health insurance. Employee only, employee spouse, employee children, and family. The per-month employer-paid rates will be as follows for fiscal year 23 and 24. Employee only, $6.64. Employee spouse, $13.28. Employee children, $13.61. And family, $20.25.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this matter? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilcott.
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Mr. Harper?
I make a motion to allow Capstone to administer the Affordable Care Act reporting for Logan County Fiscal Court for fiscal year 23 and 24 at a rate of $2.50 per employee per month on the plan, which includes electronic transmittal to the Internal Revenue Service.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wilcott.
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
I make a motion to allow Integrated Corporate Wellness Solutions, ICWS, to administer the county's wellness program at a rate of $9,600 for fiscal year 23-24. The wellness program will run from July 1st, 2023 to April 30th, 2024. Employees must complete an online health risk assessment, a biometric screening that includes a visit with a healthcare provider to earn any wellness incentives, as well as to continue to receive the county-provided health insurance at no cost. Employees who do not complete the wellness program in fiscal year 2023 and 2024 will continue to pay $25 per month for the employee portion of their health coverage on 7/1/24. Employees may additionally participate in other wellness functions to earn up to 2 days of paid time off, which may be taken or sold during the fiscal year 2023 to 2024.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Insurance Committee. Next is number 7, open bids for food service for the Logan County Detention Center. We received 0 bids for that. So we're just going to,
We tabled that one then?
Have to rebid it.
we'll have to rebid
Redid?
food service.
So why didn't the current provider bid?
I don't know, I reached out to them and they told me that they would. and
Yeah,
I-
Olivia had reached out and they said they were doing it. I just guess they didn't get it in, didn't get it here in time. I don't know. I have no answer for that.
So do we need to go ahead and do that today, put it up for rebid?
Yeah.
I would
Make a
say,
motion.
yes, I would appreciate that we can get it all back out.
Okay. Make a motion to put out for bid, food service for the Logan County Detention Center, rebid it.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any other discussion? Not roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up, acknowledge receipt of budget for fiscal year 23-24.
Move to acknowledge.
This is just basically saying you have received the budget.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any other discussion?
Judge, when do you plan on having the first reading for the budget?
What's the date set? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember what the date is. I will get that answer for you before we leave.
Okay, well, after we have the first reading, I'd like, just, if it was the court's pleasure, I'd like to see us have a budget
Workshop,
workshop.
absolutely.
Just to meet up, we got new court members and plus.
Absolutely.
We might
We don't
have
have to
some
wait till
things
the first reading, then, do we? When do
It
they-
becomes our budget.
I think it's
after the
next
first
meeting. Don't hold me to it, but I think it's next meeting.
Okay.
But it becomes our budget after the first reading, and we can make changes.
I agree with you 100%. We need a workshop
Okay.
to go over that.
Anyway, we just kind of think about those dates.
Yeah, absolutely. I will get with Amanda since and Karen, since they'll be leading mostly that workshop, and we'll get together.
Excel exporting.
Tyler and I talked about, taking the budget and putting it in
Can we get last year's?
for us, put it in an Excel format, because they use Fiscal soft.
They don't have any way to look at CSV files.
You can't Excel.
So we're on the manual.
First, once you do it once, it'd be pretty tough, but, you can copy and paste after that, and, it would be less painful moving forward.
It'd be nice to see like side by side, like one year to the next.
That's exactly right. And they have the ability to do it internally, but we
Yes.
don't.
Our first reading will be next meeting.
Next meeting? Okay.
Yes,
So
so-
then after the next meeting, maybe.
Correct.
So is the second reading typically in the following?
No. Karen has it all laid out on the meeting
That-
dates,
that
and I
next-
apologize.
That has to be, we have to approve it by the end of May.
Yeah.
'Cause
Correct.
it has to go to the Department of Local
Yeah.
Government
Both
by
hearings have to
30
happen.
days
Both hearings have to happen then before the end of May.
before the end of May, that's right.
So yeah, we'll have our first reading next court meeting, and then we'll have to have the second reading at the following one.
Both meetings.
Now,
So-
we have before,
Call it special meeting.
That's what we do on the workshop, special meeting, and we can do
Well,
it.
have we had to call a special meeting to have a second reading?
Oh, I got you. And we can do the workshop, we don't have to do it at 9 a.m., we can do it at 4 or 30, and we can do it in the afternoon. I think that's what we did the last time, I think. It might be easier to fit that in people's schedule.
I'm gonna get this half wrong, but the judge, and I forgot what, I'd have to call Logan to figure it out, but once before, because we were waiting on something, the judge had to go ahead and submit the budget to the Department of Local Government before we had our second reading, or we had our second reading, and then whatever we were waiting on came in, and we
I think I was on
amended that in June, before it became official budget. I don't remember what we were waiting on.
Specifics.
The second reading isn't until June.
Second reading.
Yeah, even though Amanda's not here, she's watching online, and she's correcting us,
Okay.
correcting me.
Good job, Amanda.
Thanks,
Good job,
Amanda.
Amanda.
Wherever you're at, whichever camera.
The second reading is the first meeting in June, I guess.
You can make any changes you want between the first and the second reading. So the first reading is next meeting, the second reading is not till June. So sometime in May.
So the last meeting in May would be the time we make our changes to vote on it.
Correct.
So we got the next court meeting, we're gonna do that.
Yes.
And then we've got till the next one to make a decision about it?
Well, we can
We'll
have a
have a-
budget workshop, and then if there's some, discussion about some different line items that we may want to look at adjusting, decreasing, or increasing, then after the first reading is when it becomes our working budget that we can make changes.
Okay, the second one isn't until the second meeting in June.
Okay.
Once again, Amanda on her sick bed.
Oh, the second meeting?
Yes, the second meeting in June is what she told me.
Oh, wow.
And so
That's
once
like-
again, Amanda on her sick bed is still
That's right here.
vital to this court.
Amanda ought to know, but I thought you had to have that to the Department of Local Government, unless after the first reading that goes to DLG.
I was thinking we always did it the second meeting of June, but the budget is off. My budget's not much, so it's the big.
You think it's sort of like the jail? You think it's sort of like the jail situation where you got to submit the first draft of it?
Hey, as far as I'm concerned, what Amanda says is law.
She's been
We
doing
just
this
did that
25 years.
workshop.
And Stephen Stratton, sheriff, can attest to that.
Vote second.
Judges, if they can, if that year by year comparison report is can be done by their thing? Can that be
Yes.
distributed?
Yes, I actually, she has it, and I do have it.
Just put it on the drive or something?
I can make sure that you guys have access to it. I actually do have it, and that's what I was using to look through some stuff. And I'll make sure that you guys have access to the year-to-year. And I think a workshop's going to be very beneficial because, you know, you guys don't get the luxury of having the ones I have that are helping me with it. So we'll work on that. And Amanda says it is on the Google Drive, so she will put it on there. All right. Okay, any more discussion? Forgot where we were at. If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Item number 9, approve the county road aid cooperative program agreement and resolution for fiscal year 23-24.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up is approve the service agreement with Airmark for a monthly rate of $99 for 24 months.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Item number 11, hold the first reading of ordinance number 23-820-01, an amendment to the ordinance creating and adopting an asset valuation policy for the Logan County Fiscal Court.
This is what we've already talked about previously, right? Did we talk about this already?
The filming.
Did we talk about this already about is that about the leases?
Yes.
No.
No.
No?
No.
We did vote on something about leases last month.
Okay, this is something different.
This is, okay, what this is, it's basically raising all of our capitalized and values. My apologies.
Well, this is just a first.
Karen and I spoke about this. I will get you a better understanding. But basically what we're doing is we're raising the values of some of this so that we don't, we're raising the values to meet other counties. I can give you a better understanding of it. And my apologies.
Next
Karen,
meeting when we have the second.
yeah, Karen and I spoke about
before we
this,
vote,
and she had pushed for it, and my apologies for, it's been 3 or 4 weeks since we talked about this. And my apologies for not having a better answer for you on this.
I've got the wrong ordinance number on, I don't know if it's wrong on the agenda, but it's wrong on the iPad. It's 02. The last number is 02. Because it's the second amendment.
So it's correct on the.
It might be, no, it's wrong on the iPad too. It's 23-820-02 is what it needs to be.
02.
02.
Make a motion to approve the first reading ordinance number 23-820-02, amendment to ordinance adopting an asset valuation policy.
So it is just exactly what it says. It's just an asset valuation.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Policy, and you look on the thing, you know, and it tells you how you're going to assess
Correct.
said asset.
Correct. And basically what we're raising everything is up from, $5,000 to $10,000 up to 50, and in one case 15. Some of them.
So basically, so we don't have to depreciate something that's small amount of money.
Yes.
Because
There's certain items that we have listed in here.
as time is going on,
yes.
things become more expensive and I understand.
Yes, that's basically what it boils down to, is we're just bringing that level up so that we don't have to do that.
Also, what Karen says is law, so. Steve, I won't second that.
I was like, Bill's second.
Basically just raising the capital assets threshold is all we're doing.
We're just getting with the times, basically.
We had a motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion?
We don't have a second.
Oh,
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Yeah, Amanda says we send the budget to DLG after the first reading for their approval.
Okay, so by the end of May.
So she just has told you that.
She's listening.
Number 12, yes, she is.
Feeling better, Amanda?
Amanda's always
Make
listening.
cookies and soup.
Number 12, hold the first reading of ordinance number 23-1040.2-01, ordinance relating to posting of a bond or obtaining a permit prior to construction projects involving the crossing of county roads or tunneling underneath the roads. Joe, would you like, I think Chris and I have been, and I can't get mine to open for some
This has
reason.
been a long time coming, I think.
Yeah, basically what we're doing is changing the wording on this to reflect more of utilities versus just water.
And it's amending it, I think the initial focus from Judge Baker was to up the consequence of it. And that's something that Chris has been talking about since the first time he was on the court. And then in reading the ordinance, Chris made some recommendations to open it up because as it's currently constructed, it kind of just relates to crossing the roadway. So he proposed some language that would also put these requirements in for working along the right-of-way. Since it's in an existing one, the only change I guess I would recommend is Chris had made alterations even to the title of it. That would possibly come into just having to pass a new ordinance. So I've got one that's clean that makes all the changes in the body but leaves the title the same. And ultimately, when it comes to a law, the nuts and bolts of it are what controls. So, but I think this does give us more requirements for contractors that are working in the right-of-ways to put some money up and get county approval for.
Can we make sure we actually enforce that as well?
Well,
When it comes to like water?
that's where, we're going to kind of be lacking on that because we really don't have anybody to enforce code. So basically, we're kind of relying on the contractors to do the right thing.
Well, I mean, because I went down some of my roads before and there's like, who just cut the road? I'll call Kelly and he's like, I was like, somebody cut the road here running water and they didn't even know about it.
Correct. What this is basically going to boil down to is it's going to require, and I'll be reaching out to all of our local utilities, whether it be water, telephone, or whatnot, to get this, make sure that they understand once that we have the final reading of this. Basically what it's doing is just holding these contractors accountable for being on the right of way. We've already had one issue this year, and I'm not going to talk about it any further than that. But they held themselves accountable, and we've had that issue resolved. As I said, once we get to the final reading of this, Chris, you've done a lot on helping us get this taken care of. Would you like to say anything else on this?
Well, Joe, on that first paragraph, I still, is this properly installed water lines or other similar related construction projects? I just like change that word water to utility on paragraph 1.
Paragraph
Instead of water,
third
you want
line,
utility?
properly installed. So we'll be changing that to properly installed utility.
Here's the way we work on the fly is I'm going to write that in, and we can have this first reading with this, and we'll get it changed for the advertisement.
Does that cover the other things?
Is that the only other one?
Yeah, and I was just going to say that Phil and I had talked a little bit about maybe, and I don't know that it relates to this ordinance, but coming up with like an application form of some sort. We found like a template of one in Warren County, and I found one in Boone County, where basically it's just a notice saying I'm going.
Pre-approval thing?
Yes.
Correct.
And then it alludes to, if you are a utility, that you have to check whether or not you have filed your bond work. But if it's a resident, doing work. I don't think it was at least on these samples, there wasn't a fee required, but at least we were aware of it.
Right.
And so that may, and then if we were to adopt that, it would be nice to then put these and maybe even other ordinances or forms, applications on our website so that nobody can deny that didn't have an option being missing.
I totally agree. And at this current moment, we don't have the ability really to, I mean, I guess we do have the ability to do it on our website, but Scott and I have been speaking and working on trying to improve our county website regardless. And once we get that up, there will be areas for everything you're speaking about, you know, where you can download these forms, these forms that you need, where you can have access to these ordinances. That's coming. We just, it's going to be a slow road getting there.
Well, I make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 23-830. Nope, that's the wrong one.
Nope.
That's the wrong one?
1040. Number 12.
23-1040.2-02, I guess?
Would it be 02 or 0?
The other one was.
The other one was 01 before, so I guess this will be -02.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a motion.
Second.
And I have a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wilcutt, sorry.
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Okay. Our next is hold the first reading of ordinance number 23-830-01, an ordinance relating to the licensing and penalties of solid waste management facilities and sites. Since
These are Nathan's recommendations that he talked to you about, and the only, there were fewer changes than we found necessary because he had found a subsequent amendment that actually took care of the issue of distance from properties, and I think he shared that with the court. But one of the things addressed a lot of the boundaries we were talking about to specific structures, but it also included a pretty sizable distance from any property line. So if you think about it, it's got to be a different property line. That's pretty much going to be everything. So after he found that, I think we were all fine that the amendments reflected here would get us good and updated. And the big part of that is the additional punishment that Judge Baker wanted in terms of a violation.
basically what they've done is brought the fines from $25, the wording is 25 or more than 250 or no more than, to 500 and to 10,000.
Yeah.
Who makes that call?
The district court, or I guess particularly a jury maybe. I think it makes it a criminal penalty.
You had Tyler with that guy in your district?
No, I don't think this is related. I think we need to look at something.
No, this is more like landfills and transfer stations.
Exactly.
I wish. One of these days.
I was gonna say, is that gonna fix that?
Not yet.
Really?
But he found you.
Yeah, I thought he did. I read that.
Yeah, sort of. But I've had two more pop up since then, so.
Oh, no.
Get them worked out too.
Two more of the same type thing?
Look,
They saw a lucrative business when they, oh my goodness. Okay.
all right, does anyone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 23-830-01 relating to the licensing penalties of solid waste management facilities and sites.
Perfect.
Second.
Done.
I have a motion and a second. If there's no further, is there any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport?
Yes.
Wilcutt?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Bolden?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes. Item number 14, transfer 2012 Chevy Silverado, VIN number 1GCBKPEA 4CZ302269 to the Logan County, from the Logan County Road Department to the Logan County Fiscal Court custodial inventory. The reason for that is Gary's truck that he is using currently here is in pretty rough shape.
So moved.
Road department had one extra. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes again.
Crawford,
Yes.
Holden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. No need to go into executive session. Anything for a post agenda? If not, adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor, roll call, please.
Anybody opposed?
No.